Welcome in, everyone, to episode 170 of the Dynacatz podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng, joined by Twastell, PvP Steve, who's not actually Steve, and HurricaneKaz. How y'all doing?
They call me Max Battles this week.
They as in
Who's
you.
they?
Yeah. Well,
I'm really curious.
Hey, the recording software is calling you Max Battles. That's what really counts, I think.
That's fair. We'll talk more about. Do we want to talk about that first?
About what?
Let's just get the Beldum Max Battles. Let's talk about that real quick.
Our becoming annual Max Battle segment.
Annual.
Weekly. Yeah.
Sorry.
But
I even
Time is
added to the
relative,
agenda.
and I
The
haven't been
Dynacatz
sleeping
segment
much,
is on here.
so.
True. Wait. So did you all try the Max Battles with Beldum
Yeah.
this past week?
Yes.
You know I did.
Yeah.
Wait, you did as well? Okay. Did everyone beat it or?
I did not the first time I tried because I foolishly
Fair.
went in there with just Charmanders like an idiot.
I did evolve to Charizard after I saw some X posts about it, but I still failed the first one with just one Charizard. So I had to evolve a second one, but that thing was not easy. You can't dodge the abilities too, right? You can't dodge the charge attacks.
You know, it's
No, it
weird
doesn't
because
seem
it
like it.
says
Sometimes
that
it says
I
it.
dodged. Yeah, it says
You
that
could
I
swipe
dodged
left and right.
But then the damage is the same.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah, I
I'm
think
actually
you're-
missing any damage.
I think I read somewhere that you're supposed to be able to dodge, but it doesn't work right now or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
the
maybe
other
it
thing,
would-
when you swipe side to side, like if you go to one side, it automatically takes me back to the middle. It's not like me swiping to tell the Pokemon where to go. It's like I'll swipe one direction and then it'll just hop back without me swiping again. It's very strange. And so I assume that it's not totally working right now. But
I thought it worked at the start. In the original week, I thought I was dodging and it was working and such. And then it sort of, once the Beldum update came through, that's when I sort of noticed that this is not working at all.
It's a bit dodgy now.
It's
yeah.
this guy.
So the first time I tried it with just Charmanders, totally realized that was not gonna happen. I only evolved one Charizard because I only really had one Charmander worth, Dynamax Charmander worth evolving. So I did one and I powered up the attack to level 2. And that helped out. And then I powered it up to about, I want to say level 30, just around 2,500 CP. And I was just barely able to do all my Beldums with just that one Charizard.
This might be helpful as well, because my formula that I worked out, because again, I saw Zoe's video and it was okay, this is going to be tougher than norm. So I evolved a Charizard and I evolved 2 Charmeleon. I didn't touch any of the moves. I didn't, unlock anything or upgrade anything. I didn't power them up. I left them at Dynamax level. And double Charmeleon Charizard, I did 3 raids and they all went exactly the same in that it sort of just is enough. As long as you sort of stack them with fire moves. So, sacrificing your Charmeleon to just be damage, throwing your Dynamax Charizard, happy days. Seems to work.
Yeah. What's this what's this thing with the traded Dynamax Pokemon?
So before we get into that,
break it down for me.
Yeah, I was in a similar boat with the Beldums though. I only did one, but I did it with someone else, so it wasn't too bad. But we both just did one Charizard. I think we both boosted the attack by 1 stage and powered it up to maybe level 25 or something. And it was not too bad with 2 people doing that. But yeah,
I didn't even know you could do Dynamax with multiple people.
Yeah, you can do it with up to 4. We've been over this.
Yeah.
Well, but
Come
the thing
on,
is,
the Dynacatz.
No. Okay, yes. But I'll hop in. I'll see people in the lobby, right, for the Dynamax. So I'll hop in, and I'm still the only person. It's happened multiple times.
Wait,
Do you need a code?
No, it's just a
No.
regular. Wait, So you see people in the thing the same as a raid, like they're actually in the lobby.
Yeah, like you see the
No,
little people icons.
no. I see like the preview on the map. There'll be like 3 heads in it. So I click to join, and I'm still the only one. So I
Maybe
just assume like you could just do it by yourself.
Maybe you're joining too late.
It's literally like a second after I see it, I just hop in, right? But I've seen this
Yeah,
happen
but
like
you
3 times by now too.
well,
Maybe it's just
it is
coincidence. I just
weird.
hopped in at the very last second. I don't know.
Right,
Yeah, it
because the
is
thing
weird
is
because you can hit ready immediately. Like,
Right.
Well,
so if
yeah.
if there is a group of 3 people, then yeah, you might be hopping in at the exact moment when they're
Maybe I
like,
just got
"Oh, we're
unlucky
all ready
like
to
all
go."
3 times I saw it happen. 'Cause I saw
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times I think, where like there's like multiple like heads in there. So I was like, oh, this is just like a raid, and I hop in. It just shows
I
1
mean,
out of 1 every time.
the other thing,
And
here's
it
the
says
other
1
thing,
out
though.
of 1, so that's what's
Right.
confusing me. So I'm just like 1 out of 1. I was like, does that means that you
Well,
only do 1 person, right?
No, so here's the other thing though, right? The
It
max
doesn't
is
say 1
4
out of 4.
The max is 4 people though, right? So if there's 3 people in the lobby and a 4th person hops in before you, that lobby will max out, and then you'll join a new lobby.
Yeah, but I've seen like lobbies of just 2 people, and I still can still hopped in. There's just me. I don't know. I just got really. I probably just got really unlucky, but like it just kind of
Yeah,
weird
I don't know.
odds. I mean, because
I've
if they're
only
filling up
done-
that fast in my area, then theoretically someone should have hopped in my Dynacatz right after, right?
Yeah,
But
I don't know
You
for
know what?
sure.
I think it's actually
Yeah.
just the fact that, like, as Kaz said, the ready button is ready straight away. I'm assuming that, 2 people are just together, they're doing the raid,
Just
they
press
jump
the
in,
ready,
they
yeah.
because like it's
Yeah.
so easy. It's not like you need to wait for people or anything. Like,
It's just
Yeah.
confusing because when I hop into raids, it says 1 out of 1. It doesn't say
is
1
that
out of
after
4.
you hit ready? Like, do you hit ready and it says 1
I
out
don't
of
hit
1?
anything. I just hop in and it just
Oh.
starts. Wait, let me
Wait.
see if I have one right here. I'm actually really curious now because
I feel like you're
I mean,
hitting the ready
share-
I mean,
button.
share your screen
there's
real
probably
quick.
like a 99% chance that I'm wrong, right? Not the other way around. But
Well, I mean, we've talked a lot about kind of how glitchy this whole max battles, Dynamax Pokemon, like every aspect of it has kind of made a lot of things in the game more wonky. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a lot of weird glitches like this floating around. But again,
well, there's also another glitch where like if you're trying to put a Pokemon in the Dynamax like gym, whatever, it doesn't work if it's full.
Yeah.
I don't know if this might not be a problem for you all because maybe like not many people playing, but you're trying to put a Pokemon in and you can't, and it doesn't say it's full. You just keep trying to press the button and nothing happens.
That only
and you try to
happened
press
to
escape.
Right, that happened to me when the only time, because the places where I haven't done a ton of Dynamax battles in general, and most of the places I've done it is not that busy. But the one place was when I was at the Mariners game. There was like so many people there,
Yeah,
and I was it was the same thing. I was trying to add in. I was like, at first I thought like my cell reception wasn't good because it wasn't the best in some spots there, and I was like, oh, like my reception just sucks. And I kept trying to hit to put it in, and it wouldn't let me. And then I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm not going to put it in. And then it would give me the warning of like, are you sure you don't want to leave a Dynamax Pokemon? And I was like, well, you're not letting me leave one. So like, what the heck?
Yeah, I don't think there's that many people doing them around me because I've never had that happen, like had it be full. But I also am not doing that many.
Yeah.
So
I don't even mind that's full. It's just that it's just annoying. There's no dialogue prompting why you can't do it. Like there's nothing. You just press the button, nothing happens.
Yeah, no warning.
You just keep pressing.
Yeah. Right, it's
like,
not like
why is that
gyms
not
where
coded in?
Right, like
you know?
gyms.
That's definitely going to make people more frustrated than if they just like tried to put a Pokemon in and there's a message like, "Oh, you can't. This gym's full."
Right, a message, or it doesn't give you the option. Right, if it just says like that's not.
So Niantic should know about this, right?
Like, that's like how when
like,
gyms are full, there's just no button. There's no button to put a Pokemon in because
exactly
there's enough Pokemon there, so you just know automatically.
There's also I haven't had this problem. But apparently there's also, like, so with gyms, right, there's a limit of how many Pokemon you can leave in gyms. And there's also a limit of how many Dynamax Pokemon you can leave. And both of those are a lot. Gyms are like 20, and Dynamax Pokemon is maybe about the same. But apparently the limits, again, I haven't done this because I don't do either of those features that much. But I saw someone posting on Twitter or Reddit or something that, like, apparently I can't remember. I think the gym limit affects your Dynamax limit or something. So if you have like 20 Pokemon in gyms, then you can leave less Dynamax Pokemon or something weird like that. Like it wasn't like coded properly.
Do you think it's like one limit for both? Like you can only have a combination of 20?
No, because the person who was researching it was saying that like it was, I don't remember, but it was like if they recall the Dynamax Pokemon, they weren't able to put more Pokemon in gyms, but if a Pokemon got knocked out of a gym, then they could add more Dynamax Pokemon or something. So it was only it was only affecting it one way, which seemed not intentional. Again, I don't remember all the details because I saw this like a week or two ago, but yeah, there was something wonky going on there as well. Again, I don't think that's affecting Caleb because I doubt he's doing that much Dynamax or gyms.
I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, if I could barely hop into a Dynamax gym, I definitely can't hop into a regular gym here, right? It's like, yeah, my the gyms near me are always.
California doesn't mess around.
I mean,
well,
like,
it's not even
middle
California.
of LA.
It's specifically like, it's specifically
LA.
where I live in LA. It's more like densely populated. True. There's definitely other parts of LA where like people are not playing the game, like they're too busy doing like LA things or whatever. But definitely not playing Pokemon.
Well, it's just
wait, okay. So what's
like,
this trading?
I was just gonna say, like, I live in Midtown Atlanta. Like, it's a busy area around me, but I rarely see people like out doing raids, max battles, whatever. You know, it's weird.
But the thing is, like, Midtown's not like, having been in Atlanta, it's not as populated as LA is.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But
it's kind of like New York. When I went to New York, I was like, this place is this is way more popular than LA. I don't even know like how there's so many people living in one like, square mile, but
I really regret that Pokemon Go did not exist when I lived in New York. That would have been amazing.
Wait, how long were you in New York for?
5 years.
In like New York City?
Yeah, like I lived in Manhattan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You would have been the biggest grinder on this podcast, not Steve.
The queen. Anyway, Tristan, tell us about how the trading Dynamax Pokemon works.
Yeah, so apparently, and it's unclear if this is intended or a bug, but apparently if you trade a Dynamax Pokemon, it resets the max move level. So if you like leveled it like any of the moves up to like level 2 or 3 or something, if you trade it to someone else, it'll set it back down to 1. But apparently also, if you've unlocked a Dynamax move, that will stay unlocked. So if you unlocked like the Shield one or the Heal one and you trade it to someone, that will still be unlocked.
I mean, this seems kind of in line with things, that reset when we trade Pokemon anyway, like buddy level, that sort of thing. Normally, if you do have like 2 moves unlocked, like those don't change at all. But I mean, they also work differently than Dynamax moves do. So I don't know. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's going to stay this way, honestly.
Yeah, probably. I think it makes sense, but it's just not been like confirmed by anyone.
Why are these things like not like explicitly stated? I always wondered that with like this game sometimes, and I mean, it's a genuine question. I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just thinking like, what's holding them back from just stating it outright that, hey, if you trade this, you lose this or whatever, but you can still have the unlock thing or whatever.
They seem to thrive on the chaos that they cause by reactions like ours.
I mean, I guess it's like maybe it's like a Pokemon game where like you have to figure out things and explore on your own, kind of like
some of it. I think
kind
is
of
like,
method, but
Go on, Kaz. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I think a lot of it is like they don't necessarily want to give all the information away. They want some things to be discoverable, but the problem is these mechanical things are a lot more frustrating in Pokemon Go than I think they are in like a main series game. Because in a main series game, there is that element of like part of the game is you're supposed to explore and talk to NPCs and like get items and find weird stuff around the map. But like in Go, sometimes the way that this game functions like depends on you understanding the mechanics. And if they don't share that with us, then it can get, really annoying to people really quickly. Well, I think we've been putting up with this for so long, so.
Well, that's why like it just hit me too. I was just like, why is this still a thing? But because it's not like they don't have the capability to type this out to us. But it's also weird because sometimes they'll change things and not tell people. So for example, back a couple years ago, huh?
I was going to say the raid thing recently.
Oh, the raid thing. Yeah, the raid thing's a good example of that. Yeah, a more recent example. But something I recall is a couple years ago, you couldn't trade purified Pokemon at zero friendship if it like even if it wasn't a legendary or shiny. So like a purified Sableye, you could not trade at zero friendship. And then sometime down the road, they changed it so you could trade purified Pokemon at zero friendship, and that's how you could get truly the rank 1 purified Sableye, because you can't really get it from doing rockets, because once you purify, it goes up by 2, right, and everything. And I remember when I posted about it, because this is a Dijon the Jin Rose, but I was like, dude, that's gotta be the rarest thing in the world. I don't think anyone has one. He's like, no, there's gotta be someone that has one. I was like, what do you mean? You have one chance with every new friendship you have to potentially get it if they're willing to trade a purified Sableye zero friendship. Like, it's the odds of that, like the amount of people that could do that, at most you could do that once a day, and most people aren't finding new people to trade with once a day who have purified Sableye, right? And he's like, no, there's gotta be people. I was like, you know what, I'll post it on X and see what happens. I post it, and the vast majority of people were like, you can't even trade purified at zero friendship. I was like, you could. I was like, they changed that a year or so ago at the time I posted, and I had to like find a friend to do it with me just to prove it, as post it as proof. Even PV Poke, and this is no hate on PV Poke, even PV Poke didn't know. He's like, that's not possible. I was like, no, PV Poke, it is, right?
Yeah, it makes it even rare. It's even rarer because no one knew you could get it.
Yeah. I was like, I could have easily been the first person in the world to do it, because the 90% of the people didn't even know you could do that, right? Maybe even more than that.
I mean, you could have had it by now, but do you?
No, I still do try, actually, when I meet people for the first time. It just doesn't really. Well, the problem is also a lot of people don't want to do that, right? And you get one special trade a day, right? If we have multiple special trades a day, different story, but we only get one special trade a day. So most people just want to do like a Cresselia or a Guzzlord or whatever, which I don't blame them. So, and there goes my one chance with that one person. And, you know, how many people you really going to meet regularly? But, yeah. But to my knowledge, that's still the most rare Pokemon. Right, I don't know a single person with a 0-15-15 purified Sableye, and if you have one, send proof and I'll give you a shout out or a high five. I don't know, but yeah, just like a mechanic just not explained, which is weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like some of it is like the, like, I don't know, like Pokemon branding and stuff, because like, you know how like Pokemon, like TPC and stuff in general, seems like very like tight-lipped about like IVs, and like they don't give us like the energy values on the move announces and stuff like that. Like, for whatever reason, there's like certain things that they like don't like talking about. So I don't know if it's connected to that at all. But I do agree that like it would be nice if somewhere, either in game or on their website or both, like a lot of these things were explained, because like there's so many like in-game like mechanics and features, and like a lot of people don't know how they work and end up having to go find outside sources to try to help them, and some people don't know how to find those things. And again, like, I mean, PvP is probably the biggest one, because it's like there's so much going on in PvP, and there's no sort of like in-game tutorial or anything, like in-game information.
You can't just hop into GBL and like throw stuff in there, you know.
Oh, you sure can, and it happens every season.
But it might not go.
I mean, you can,
and then I stomp them.
It won't go well, is the problem. So, and that can get really frustrating for like a new player who wants to explore that facet of the game, just like not knowing what to use. It might take you a while before you realize, like, oh, all my opponents seem to be using Clodsire and Feraligatr. Maybe those are good, you know?
Yeah, but the problem
there's so much to the game, to be fair to Niantic, and if they had a guide or explanation for this, their website would be like 1,000,000 pages long. Like, it would actually be like,
valid.
Right, let's cover raids, let's cover this, and then like I can see how no one at Niantic wants to undergo that task, even if they're allowed to. And two, they probably don't want to be responsible for even updating that regularly. So they're gonna have to find some generous intern that's willing to do all this.
They get us doing it for free.
True, that's true. Maybe it's better, because then there's content for us. Otherwise, what are we gonna talk about?
It's all part
I was gonna
of
say
their
the thing,
plan.
Kaz, is like, you say people see like, oh, people are using Clodsire, but the thing is, they might not know, and they might just run in with their like Mudshot, Acid Spray, Megahorn, Clodsire and think that that's good because they're not paying attention to the moves, right?
No,
Like,
I know.
No, the more
It's
likely
a
scenario is that
process,
they're not even running
right?
Clodsire. They're just running like I'll see that every season where it seems like someone just like did not read the patch notes or whatever, and they're still running like Gligar like
Yeah.
5 weeks
Yeah.
into the meta. I was
Oh
like,
no, I
huh.
know. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, like, if you if you look at it like a science experiment, right? Someone goes into GBL with whatever they feel like because they don't know any better. Then they might start to see what like other people are bringing. You know,
Mhm.
like
and
if
then
other
copy
people are
that.
bringing, yeah, and then start to copy that. And then even if they're using the wrong moves, they might realize that a little bit later, like, oh, these moves are bad. Like they're not doing anything
Yeah.
to my opponents, and like I keep getting hit.
Ah,
My Megahorn Clodsire keeps getting hit by an Earthquake Clodsire, so maybe I should look into changing that. You know,
I
so
think the problem is they just
it,
keep losing though, right? Like they've got
exactly.
that background elo, so like they'll just
And
see other
if
people that are
you
in the same boat.
yeah,
True.
but I mean sometimes you have people starting the season late, you know, with meta stuff to climb easier, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, maybe if someone sticks with it they would learn, like, pick up things eventually, but there's absolutely no way for people to know just off the top of their head with no context, right? Like no watching streams, no watching like regionals or participating in local challenges or whatever. So it would be very hard for that person with like no network to figure
Yeah.
out what to do.
Well, and the problem is it's hard for people to even find some of those things. Like,
Exactly.
unless they're doing a push notification, which they only seem to do for like sometimes ICs and worlds, like people don't even know that the streams are happening. Like people might not know how,
Mm-hmm.
like, because play Pokemon is its own thing too, right? So like there's been like a couple times where they've done a push notification for like some like special local thing they were doing, right? But other than that, like people won't know how to find like the event locator to find locals near them. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's just, it's so hard to find any of this information, and especially when it comes to play Pokemon, which is separate from Niantic, it's even harder to find it, right? Because it's not even like you can go on the Pokemon Go website and find the information there. You have to go to you have to go to Pokemon.com, which is an entirely separate website. So like, yeah, in general, it's just very challenging because all this information is either non-existent or like buried in all over the place, and new people
Yeah.
aren't going to know where to find it. And again, some of the best resources are like, PV Poke or Leak Duck or things like that, even Cerebi.net, which are like not even like affiliated with Niantic, so like they're not going to link to those resources even though they're great resources. Like the number of times I've been at locals and I've like showed someone like what PV Poke or like what Dracoviz is or something so that they can like figure out like what the right move sets are, like team ideas for GBL or team ideas for play Pokemon or whatever. Like a lot of people don't know what these resources are, where to find them, and that's definitely a problem too.
Honestly, I don't think it's that bad a thing. Well, like obviously it is a bad thing for most parts of the game, and there's a lot of things that should be explained that aren't. But I think that one of the potential benefits from like Niantic's point of view or Pokemon Company's point of view and whatnot is that sort of forced community engagement in the sense that like, you don't know the answer to these, so you sort of go out and seek the answers and sort of, find other people talking about the game and, the whole make friends, meet people sort of angle of it all, which like is sort of just
I like
off-sourcing
Yeah.
their work. But
I like the optimism. I think like
Yeah.
there is some merit and value to that when they release like a cool new feature. So for example, like when they first, and we'll talk more about this in the events because it's actually kind of related, but when they first released Galarian Birds from Adventure Incense, no one knew it was coming until they started seeing it and they're like, whoa, what the heck is this? Right? And that was a really cool, exciting aspect that they
Yes.
didn't tease, they didn't give us a heads up on, but people really liked, right? It was frustrating, yeah, you couldn't catch it, but like there, but it still added to some allure to it. It's almost like the original like main series game where you see like Articuno randomly, right? And it's like you gotta kind of catch it, and the encounter
Right.
conditions
Well,
are
Or when
I
they
think
threw the
really
Lake
rare.
Trio, or when they made the
Yeah.
Lake Trio wild.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Is that
But
like
those-
when they
those
first
were just,
released
like-
that, you could find that in the wild as well, just randomly.
Yeah, you still can.
know?
They're just
You still
very,
can.
very rare.
Super, super rare. You
I
know,
caught
even
one.
rarer.
I caught one
I
in,
would
in an Uber.
even rarer, I would say, than the Galarian Birds, because at least with
Oh,
the Galarian
100%,
Birds,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know you have like a chance. But yes, I would agree with you, Caleb. Those are very cool, like sort of mysterious things that people discovered, because that doesn't lead necessarily to the annoyance at not being able to play the game optimally. You know,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
just like an exploratory discovery, which is exciting for everyone. But like when
Right.
it comes to a lot of people that play this game, you know, some people are more casual, but there are also certainly people that want to like do the grind. That's how they play. That's how they have fun with this game. And like not being able to do that, I think leads to sometimes some very vocal frustration of like, why would you keep this? Like, why would you keep this from us? You know, when it just doesn't, you know, it's doesn't affect anything for you to actually just let us know stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
For me personally, that's a balance I would hope for. But
yeah.
I do get what Steve's saying too. I think I do agree. I agree with it to a degree, but
yeah. I mean, certainly, yes. No one really can optimally play this game by themselves. You know, like you can do a lot of day-to-day like grinding or playing or whatever by yourself, but in the long run, you're going to need to interact with community in some way. So yes, I do think that they kind of depend on that for people learning these things.
Well, if you're me, you'd be doing these Dynamax stories by yourself too. So I'm gonna try. But anyway, I think that's the main aspect of it. Oh, there's new Dynamax battles coming, I guess. Was that?
Yeah, they just
Yeah, well,
announced
it's been
that this morning. Not leaked.
Oh,
was it actually
announced?
announced? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's
Oh, okay.
literally on the what is it? The Pokemon Go Live. There was a post this morning.
Yeah, looks like we're getting the Galarian first partner Pokemon. So the Grookey, Scorbunny, Sobble, and Phalanx.
Phalanx
So if
will
you
be in
didn't-
3
That's
Star
pretty
Max.
interesting because they just came out too. So
Yeah, and
Already
Phalanx
Dynamax
will be in
battles.
3-star Dynamax battles. And the
so
other
that will
ones
be the
in
new
1-star.
difficult one.
Yeah.
dude,
We
LA
won't
locals,
even have
man, you
much.
can't keep skipping out on me on these, right? You need to stay in the lobby. Let me join. I can't be soloing these things by myself.
Phalanx is what mono bug, right? No,
No, it's mono
fighting.
Mono fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't
Yes.
have any Dynamax
I think that's super
Pokemon.
effective moves.
We do. We have
You have to use
Charizard with a wing
Charizard.
attack and
Yeah.
Air
Yeah, but if it
slash.
gets, I'm not going to spend TMs
Air
on running
slash.
Charizard.
Air slash.
yeah, air slash.
I don't even know if I want to spend TMs on that, but yeah, maybe.
Fast
the
TMs? You don't
typing
have
of it
fast
is pretty
TMs?
nice.
I have way more fast TMs than I
actually
have charged
harsh
TMs.
than fast TMs actually.
Wow.
But I think it's because I usually drop fast TMs until I have like 100.
Yeah.
Instead of
So,
dropping them, you just TM these Dynamax Pokemon. It does the same thing.
I'm
Tears out
down
your
to
bag.
about 100 charge TMs, and it's giving me severe anxiety.
Look, I'm cool. I'm glad that people are enjoying the Dynamax feature. I personally don't care that much for it, unfortunately.
Caleb's just salty that people keep starting the lobbies without him.
No, I was solo Beldum, no problem, you know. And the other ones are like too easy, you know. But
I just want them to have. I'd be more excited if there were some other utility to the Dynamax feature.
I agree.
Other
I
than
think like it's
just
just like for
using
me,
them
I
in
don't
Dynamax
see
battles.
the long-term vision on it, and I'm sure there is one, but like I don't see the utility behind it yet, right? And I think if this was the first thing that came out, there were no raid battles. This was like 2017, different story, right? But like this reminds me of when 2017 came around when raids first came. Dude, I can't be the only one that's raiding freaking Venusaur and Charizard and stuff and Blastoise, even though we already got a bunch right by then, like a year into the game. But I was just excited to do raids, right? But I knew in the back of my mind that the odds of me getting a hundo from this is pretty low. And there's no other reason to get a hundo, right? So, hey, am I tripping or is Kaz's like screen going blue?
Yeah.
Why?
Is there like a light?
There's no lights in here that are doing
It stopped
that.
just now, but it was like going white and blue, right? Was that just me?
No, I saw
No,
that for a sec.
I
Okay,
saw
okay.
that.
I legit thought I was like tripping because I was like, is it like an optical illusion with her like with your sound canceling,
I'm
Archons, whatever.
Dynamaxing everybody.
Dude, it looks like well, not even that. It looks like you're on a status,
Now
like
it's
you
doing
got
it
like
again.
yeah.
That's so weird. I don't know. There's no lights like in this room that I can affect from where I am right now.
That's so weird. I thought it was like my eyes are tripping or
Bizarre.
something. It's like the is this dress white and gold or is it blue and black, right?
What color is Kaz?
Oh my God.
Yeah. What
My
color's
blue-
his background? White
My
or blue?
shirt
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
Light blue, dark blue.
That was so weird. It's probably gonna keep happening, but I'm just like,
Oh,
Yeah,
it just
I don't
happened
know.
again, I think.
It's doing it now, and I don't understand why. That's so weird.
Is there like a light that's like reflecting off your shirt and like going
I
to
mean,
your computer
I don't
camera or
know.
something?
My
no,
windows,
it's like the whole background. Wait, let me see.
my
Yeah,
blinds are
it's
open.
no,
My blinds
because
are open, so the sun is coming in. So I don't know. Maybe there's some sensor that's like, oh, there's a lot of light. So
no,
blue
but everything's
light.
going blue though. Even her telescope is going blue. It's not just like the wall.
It's like a background thing. I don't know, but it's not happening in real life. I promise.
I think it's
This is
just
like
the
the
camera.
skink all over again.
Yeah, you got some aliens living there now too.
The aliens take
Anyway.
over the Battlecats podcast. But
Yeah.
I mean, I do agree
So-
with you, Caleb. I don't necessarily know where this is going. Like, I'm not personally like
Mhm.
doing Dynamax super hard or anything. But like, if they're like nearby me and it's convenient, I'll just go do them. Like, they're kind of fun. Like, not too bad. But
you might need to start grinding these 3-star Phalanx raids for whoever loses veteran bet, because that's an interesting Pokemon to max out. It's it might not be too bad because you have a max out Phalanx for Dynamax raids potentially. So
True.
but
Yeah, my
some
only
people
regret
use-
is that I do already have a hundo Phalanx that like is not able to Dynamax. So like, rude.
well, you could max that out if you want instead. It doesn't have to be the Dynamax one.
No, I just mean like I have a really strong Phalanx that I can't use in my Dynamax battles.
Yeah, you can use a Master League though. But
Yeah.
oh my god! And yeah, I saw
we'll get
Joe.
into the GBL section.
I saw Joe Merrick was tweeting that he was like cautious about doing these Dynamax battles of Pokemon that also have a Gigantamax, because he was like, I don't know how Gigantamax is gonna work, and like it's gonna feel bad if I like dump all these resources into like, I don't even know what can or can't Gigantamax, but like I'm assuming some of the like newly announced ones can, like the Sobble family or whatever. And so like he's just like cautious about like dumping resources into like a Dynamax Sobble and then
I feel
or like
I saw
Dynamax
this.
Inteleon, and then they bring out like the Gigantamax one later, like how that's gonna work or whatever.
I feel like I
Yeah.
saw a post recently that had all of the Gigantamax listed just for future reference. Oh my god, where is it?
I know there's like,
I mean, in general,
Gigantamax
if you're
EV.
always going to wait, you're just never going to do anything in the game if you're just constantly waiting for the next big
Yeah.
thing. So.
Wise words from the number one grinder. He's
How
already
can you
maxed
say?
all his Dynamax
Oh, here it
Pokemon.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if any of those like first partner Pokemon are on here, but I don't see the ones from Galar, like the partner Pokemon. I don't see them on this list of like Gigantamax forms.
There's Charizard.
No, there definitely is, because I know the Cinderace one. He looks like he's a regular size Cyndaquil or Cinderace standing on a fireball that's like the size of the Earth. Like, it's kind of nuts.
Oh.
That one definitely has a Gigantamax.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know about the other ones. I just remember seeing that one and thinking it's kind of goofy. But
Maybe
Yeah.
that's the
Inteleon
only
standing
one.
on like this like massive pole, similar vibe.
Yeah.
Why aren't they on this post? That's weird.
where are you looking at this?
Oh, it was just posted in another Discord server, so it's like an image.
Might not be a good graphic.
Apparently
Yeah, it might not be.
Apparently not.
Here's the problem. We talk about how there's no resources, and then some of the resources there aren't very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a list of all the Gigantamax Pokemon.
Alright.
But I don't know if it's a full comprehensive list, but it's a list for sure. They have Gigantamax Urshifu, Gigantamax Rillaboom, which I don't even know what that is.
It's the
Cinderace and
Grookey evolution.
Teleon. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because then it's right after it's Cinderace and Teleon looking even more goofy than the Cinderace does. But
Oh yeah, I do see them on this graphic now.
Yeah.
It was just too small. I couldn't read the text.
Okay.
not the best graphic then, I guess. Not
It's
the best
true.
thing. We don't have
Too
to name
small.
the author unless you want to.
It's too small. I can't read it.
You can't give the credit. They have Gigantamax, Melmetal, Venusaur, Blastoise.
Mhm.
Is there no Charizard?
There is Charizard. There definitely
I don't know why
is.
it's on this list.
No, it's Charizard. Venusaur, Blastoise,
Maybe
Charizard,
just, like-
Butterfree, Pikachu.
Oh, it's not a comprehensive list then.
Yeah.
There should
Man,
be Eevee
none of
and
these lists are
Snorlax,
good.
I know.
Eevee, Snorlax, Meowth, Gengar.
Oh yeah, there's Charizard. Yeah, there's actually quite
Machamp,
more. Yeah, there's actually a ton.
Kingler.
Lapras.
It's interesting though,
Lapras.
because like the Meowth and the Eevee, like I think it's just those base stages that have the Gigantamax. I don't know if
Garbodor.
it's
Yeah.
evolution.
God.
Yeah.
Really?
They're too strong. if
Oh,
you evolve.
There's some Pokemon that have Gigantamax forms that have not been released in Go yet. So there's
There's
like
quite a few
Corviknight.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Corviknight, the giant like Raven one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the Skarmory essentially.
It's a bunch of
Colossal.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of them are
Deadmau.
Galarian Pokemon that haven't
Yeah.
come out yet.
Yeah.
Orbeetle, Flapple.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Appleton. Yeah, those
Brimstone,
are
yeah, a bunch, yeah,
Sanaconda. Oh my god, these things look.
It's quite a
And the
few, yeah.
Hatterene also has a Gigantamax, and that did just come out in Go.
Dude, some of these Gigantamax look really cool, and others just look so damn goofy. Like this
I'm for it.
Gigantamax Meowth is like comical.
It's
honestly,
It's
it's
a
honestly
meme,
one of my favorites,
right?
yeah.
Like it's like an old cat meme, right? Of the
That's-
arms, like.
That should be our new Battlecats logo.
Yeah.
Gigantamax.
Melmetal actually looks pretty cool though. It actually makes it look kind of tough, but definitely skipping leg day on that guy. But okay, well anyway, that's it for Dynacatz for this week. We have October Community Day coming up, and that should be okay. Well, you all tell me, right? Professor Tristan, break this down. Is this relevant or not?
It's relevant for Tomahawk being happy. Did you see that guy?
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Much love to him, but it was just funny to see him posting it like in 20 different places.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I had this idea
He posted
before.
20 different places. I only saw it once. Okay.
Maybe
Look.
not 20, but it was more than once.
Not to discredit Tomahawk or anything, because he came out with like a list of different things he'd like to say. Let's see like updates, right, to Pokemon, like, oh, if this got this, if this got this. And one of them was if Shadow Claw was given to Seawaddle. Or what do you call it? The evolution. Yeah.
Lavani.
Lavani. But the thing is, like, Tomahawk also posts like 100 different suggestions. Of course, one of these are probably going to be picked eventually, right? Like, it's not as much of a flex as, let's say, like when Palmer's Up called out and was like, "Hey, if you give Surf to Lantern, it's going to break the meta." Right? That was a very specific like point of view and feedback, and he was completely right on that, right? Meanwhile, you got Arrow vouching for wanting Volt Switch as well on the Lantern. So, like the full spectrum of who was right and who was completely wrong. But Tomahawk, meanwhile, he's just going like, shotgun mode, just taking every shot in the world, and eventually one of them's going to land, right?
I mean, I do appreciate
you
he had a
can't
long
miss
list
if
of
you just keep taking shots, right?
He did have like a long list of interesting ideas, and like more ideas in general are good just to get those
no for sure
creative
for sure.
juices flowing. But
I'm
yeah,
not,
I agree. It's like 1 in 100 or something,
Yeah.
I think
he did post about it.
I think that Shadow. So like, if you sim it against like the PvP Pokemon meta, I think that Shadow Claw is actually slightly worse than the current like Bug Bite or whatever. In theory, Shadow Claw will probably be a bit better, but like Lavani's just gonna be like, I'm sure like some people will use it as like a spicier pick, but like it's gonna be a fairly like RPS Pokemon because
I see it in like factions back in the day too, like meta once in a while.
It's got a bug grass typing, so it's got like double weaknesses to like fire and flying. and then like it's gonna double resist ground moves while having Leaf Blade to hit back at ground types. Like,
I mean,
it's not.
the typing's interesting. You know,
It's gonna
I
be
don't even think the
very
double weak to
polarizing.
flying and fire is that big of a deal because those are matchups that it probably wouldn't win anyway, even if it was single weak to it, right? So just give him less
Sure,
harm, I
sure,
guess. But
like,
yeah,
it's yeah. I think it's just gonna be a fairly polarizing Pokemon. Like, again, I could see like some people popping up with it. Like, it could be like a decent core breaker anti-meta option on some teams, but it's gonna be more of a spice pick than like a central meta Pokemon by any means.
yeah. This is coming
still-
Saturday, October 5th, which is pretty soon.
Yeah.
That is soon. I only regret that it is October and we do not have a ghost Pokemon.
Hey, it has Shadow Claw. Does that count?
No. This is not a ghost type move. A ghost type attack is not the same as a ghost type Pokemon in the spoopiest of months.
The thing is, I saw a post that most October community days have not been ghost type Pokemon, actually.
Which is still a travesty. That doesn't make it any less of a travesty to me.
Yeah.
I went to Target the other day and bought like everything in their Halloween section. I'm excited.
Kaz
What are you
is
dressing up for?
single-handedly keeping Target in business by buying all their Halloween stuff.
Listen,
Wait, what's
they had
your
a lot of,
legend bet again? Is it a costume related one? It is.
yeah, it
right?
is costume related.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So
forgot
yeah,
about
I love Halloween so much, and like every year I just get more and more frustrated that the Halloween event seems to be getting less
All I'm
and
gonna
less good.
say, if they don't give us Mimikyu this year, I'm gonna be real upset. I've been waiting for Mimikyu for like years now, and I'm like,
I feel like we're on. I feel like we're on
like
like year 3 of expecting Mimikyu and probably getting let down.
Yeah, we just also have Aegislash, right? Which is also a ghost Pokemon, Ghost Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, so many good
But
things.
the thing with Mimikyu is like also I'm not like as like pressed about it because what I'm worried about is what if like it's just bad, you know? Like it's kind of like we didn't have Smeargle for a long time nor Kecleon, and when we finally got him, well, Smeargle is pretty busted in Little Cup, but outside of that, like they're not really relevant for much, right? So or like Shedinja, right?
Well,
it's like it
that's
doesn't have any of
because-
its like main series game like aspects that
Yeah.
make it interesting, right?
No, but like Mimikyu
there
with
are
a
things
good
about those Pokemon that like just don't like. There's no way to translate like their unique mechanics to go currently, you know, except for them being able to learn. Like Smeargle can learn like all the moves or whatever. But you can't like teach it those things. You can only get it from the photos. So
the thing with Mimikyu is like it's got like the unique fairy ghost typing, and like even though the stats aren't the best, they're not the worst either. So like if it got a good moveset, it could be pretty good and pretty interesting. Because like having a ghost type that's only taking neutral from darks while able to hit back with like a super effective fairy move is like pretty interesting and pretty unique. So like again, I don't know. I think it's like currently like data mined moveset isn't the best, but like that's always subject to change, and also has the even if it doesn't change, has the option for move updates in the future as well. So like I just think that the typing is really interesting and has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But I'm still excited for Seawaddle to have a community day. You know, new shiny is always fun. I personally think it's a very adorable little bug. So I'm excited to see it more in the wild. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that Shadow Claw is just kind of a side grade, if anything.
Yeah. It's not like the best Pokemon in general, at least for open, but like maybe it shows up more in like limited metas or something.
The main bonus for this event is also 1/4 egg hatch distance, so
maybe that'll get me to actually hatch some eggs.
It's going to be a short event for me, is all I'm going to say. But I'll do my best. Honestly, I don't even care too much at this point about the community days having to be like super spectacular. I wish they were just all at least like triple Stardust, right? And because like what's a little more Stardust, right? What really is that really that big of a deal?
Well,
wait, were we in a double Stardust event recently, or is that
right now? Literally right now.
The psychic one. Yeah.
Right
Oh,
now.
I've been.
Wait,
Oh,
is it still right now? Or I thought it was
Didn't it
just the psychic one.
Well, we're recording
and
on
that
this on
ended last
Monday.
night.
Wait,
I
the
thought it was
second one
until
ended?
Sunday, 8
The
p.m.
psychic
Sunday.
event.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't realize the
ended last
second event
night.
ended. Oh,
Oh,
I thought
I
it was
didn't.
still
Even,
going.
I completely forgot that was a double Stardust event. Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
And
it
there was
was
there was like
double
more
Stardust.
little spawns that were pretty nice because those are
Yes.
boosted dust
Shoot.
already.
Maybe I should grind a little. I don't know. At this point, I'm just like whatever. I've been just chilling at 10 million dust like consistently, but.
I will say it was.
Hey, I'm not
speaking of-
maxing out no freaking Felix, for this bet. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to be me. But yeah, what were you gonna say,
Also,
Tristan?
well, two things. One, for this Seawaddle Community Day, it's weird because Niantic announced it last week, but I was checking their Twitter like a few hours ago just to see if they were gonna like announce any more game news, right? Because they tend to do that. And they put out a teaser for Seawaddle Community Day this morning, like 3 hours ago. Like one of those like videos where they're like teasing what it's gonna be, and it's just like, guys, we already know what it is. Like, what this was supposed to be out a week ago. Like,
hey,
I don't know, but
they just got the green light. I'm sure there's a lot of like approval processes for stuff they could post, but
yeah, but they announced the full Community Day a week ago, so it seems weird timing to do a teaser after
Oh,
that.
no.
Sure,
I don't disagree with you. I'm just trying to
still a surprise
explain
to
maybe.
Someone.
Yeah. True. Some people probably don't know the Seawater Community Day coming up, but
and also the psychic event. I don't know about you guys. I barely saw any Inkay. I feel like
I saw a decent amount, but not like crazy amounts. But I saw a decent amount.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't spawning a ton, but I feel like I would see a few every day. So
yeah. Tristan thought there was still more time in the psychic event. It's over.
I did.
It's over.
Why am I not seeing any Inkay today?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, I don't think I really opened the app since it ended, so that's probably why I thought it was still going.
Fair. Okay. We have a Galarian Bird event, and I think this one a lot of people are pretty excited about. But it is called Galarian Expedition, and a bunch of wild encounters. Honestly, nothing on these wild encounters are that interesting. Yeah, there's nothing really that interesting. Wooloo is probably the most PvP relevant one, but we've seen Wooloo like a million times.
Friday, October 4th at 10 a.m. to Friday, October 11th at 8 p.m. So we got a
full 7 days.
Yeah.
Plus,
thank goodness. We have more chances for those birds. Yeah,
for real. We have Shiny Zamazenta coming out, which will be following Shiny Zacian. So, cool one. I've used in PP actually. I ran double dogs for a while, and it was actually kind of fun. It was Zamazenta and Zacian. But and because I think Zamazenta back then when I was running it was like ranked really high on PvP Poke, and everyone's like, why is this rank so high? Like it's definitely like a sim hero like Scraggy or Scrafty in Great League. But then I made it work very well, and people were like, oh shoot, this actually might be pretty good. But it was before level 50. It was like when there was like level 40 Master League, so it's kind of it might not be as good at the moment. But anyway, you get another Master Ball if you want to purchase it for $8, $7.99. Yeah. I haven't used any of mine, honestly. It feels like such a waste to use it on Galarian Bird, especially because you don't know what the IVs are. But that's just me. Sorry for that. We had a small technical difficulty, which is per usual on the podcast.
It wouldn't be a Dynacatz podcast without some sort of technical issue.
When you have 4 people, though, you're increasing the chances of having problems.
We should track that. We should really track who's causing the most issues,
I think we know the answer.
Caleb,
we all know. We all know who it is.
I'm causing the most, but I'm not the only one that's had problems, though.
That is how one would phrase it if they were causing the most issues.
Your internet died mid-time last time.
True, but I never just unplugged something because I was moving the computer around. I can't. AT&T's fault, right? Not my fault. It's no, there's no user error on my end. But
my glitch, my blue light glitch seems to still be happening. At least that's only aesthetically, not.
It's going like overdrive right now.
I know. I thought I fixed it, and now I've made it worse.
There's a chance that it might not be on the YouTube version. There's a small chance. I don't know though. We'll find out. I guess once it's uploaded. But there's a small chance.
Let us know in the comments.
There's a small chance that it's not. Oh, by the way, speaking of YouTube version 2, I actually neglected to do this last week, and I might forget again, so I'll just hold it to the camera. But I said I was going to show my cats in pumpkin costumes, and it just like I just forgot to do it. So here
so
it
you
is for the
gotta
camera
make up for it
those.
now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
babies.
yeah, that's my little cute pumpkins, and then and this is when they're not so cute and they're just coming for you. Coming for you.
Yeah, I remember.
Anyway,
That's amazing.
Yeah, I forgot to upload it. I forgot to like edit that into the episode. So if you were a cat connoisseur,
lover,
then that there you go.
So I think we left off, and you were asking
the master ball.
You were saying that you would not use your master ball on
just some random.
Bird.
Okay. Actually, this is a great great way to assess like my take on this. How many of you have used master balls before?
Yep.
You both Tristan hasn't? Okay, no. Tristan hasn't. Okay. Can you show me what you use to catch with your master ball, and show me that IV spread as well? And
one of them is atrocious.
Oh, I mean,
like I stand by it being worth it.
Yeah, I stand by my choices, and I'll show you why.
I'm not an IV snob like some people.
But the thing is, it's not even that, right? You just have no idea what it is. That Galarian Bird could power up to 1457, right? And that's what
sounds
you got.
Like all my mythicals. Like, what's the difference?
The difference is you have a choice in the matter. 1458, and you haven't used it obviously because you haven't even powered it up, right?
Yeah. I literally just caught it like 5 days ago. Like I just caught it.
Okay.
But, like,
he hasn't used it because Galarian Moltres is hot garbage.
You say this, but I did lose someone in that team formats from DracoViz and Unified, so there was that. But
all right, so this was what I used like my first master ball on.
Okay.
Oh, that's
1494. Nice, all right, not too bad. And you've used it.
And I've used it, and it's very fun.
It was very fun.
Is it very good?
It was very fun.
That counter definitely hurts it.
No. The counter nerf definitely hurts. I don't think I'll be using it again until it gets something a little more viable. But it was very fun while it was good. I don't know.
I think they should buff Peg. It's such a useless move at the moment.
And then this is what I used my other master ball.
It only knows counter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you could catch these without master ball.
No. Well, you might be able to. But
how many have you caught? Caleb, how many have you caught without a master ball?
Okay. Oh, what I search? Galar.
I probably just Articuno, to be honest.
Okay, I don't even do my adventure instance that often, but this is what I got. So this, I caught at GoFest New York with. I mean, obviously not a great spread, right? It's like 13-12-1 or something. This one I caught just from Daily Adventure Incense, ranked 200. Yeah, ranked 219 for Ultra League. And then this one I caught just with a regular thing.
That's a level 1.
Caleb, you're telling me.
That's a level 1 though.
0.14.8.
That's a level 1.
You currently don't have a Great League Moltres.
Why are you changing the goalposts now? You just asked what I have, and now you're saying it's a level 1. No one ever said you can't.
That's fine. That's on board.
I will say, the Moltres I did catch without a master ball. But the thing is, I caught one that was really low CP without a master ball, right? And then I traded it with, I swapped with a friend who also had one who was higher CP, and the stats it's not. I mean, it looks good. You think that that's good, but it powers up to powers up to 2470 something, which is
but the point is Caleb, do you have a Great League Galarian Moltres? Because you didn't show that you don't have one. See, that's the point.
I've never seen one from Incense either, though.
Okay, so you haven't had the chance.
Also, it's hot garbage, so I'm not going to use my basketball on it.
See,
but you know what? You
my
know why?
argument.
You know why? I'm going to get a shiny Galarian Moltres during this event, right? I'm going to just drop 1,000,000 Stardust on that freaking spatial whatever. Not spatial rent, the Roar of Time if I need to, right? Yeah. I'm going to get it, right?
Caleb's going to do your adventure instance for a day straight.
For me, it's
live stream it.
The way we I mean, the only way we have to get these birds right now is the Adventure Incense. And it's not even a guarantee that you'll see one on your Adventure Incense. So for me, it's really just about like the rarity, right? I'd rather have the guaranteed catch of something that is so rare to even see than use my Master Ball like in a raid, right?
What are you gonna
for
do?
me, for me, that's kind of just more worth it. So
No, that's fair. And the things with raids, you're catching like 99+% of raid Pokemon, generally speaking, right?
Exactly.
If you're trying to, right? So that's
it's
like
really rare that they don't stay in the ball.
But also,
I would say for the Master Ball purposes, like the vast majority uses that make sense is probably for the Galarian Birds. So I'm not really hating on it, but just for me, like they're not as rare anymore, I think, because we've had these for what, 2 years now, right? Almost 2 years.
What are you
But
gonna
you
do?
still only have 3, Caleb.
Well, because I don't do my Adventure Incense all
What are
the
you
time.
gonna do with the
I barely do it,
100%
yeah.
Shadow Lugia?
I do mine all the time, and I only have 3. So
for me, so you can see why in my mind I don't think they're that rare because I rarely do it. I got 3, right?
honestly,
what I'll often do is actually I'll just
run from me.
Oh, I have plenty run from me actually.
Yeah.
Wait, you've only had 3 run from you, and you've only seen 6 in total?
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts.
It hates me. They hate me.
I've seen like probably over like 10 plus. What I usually do is I just drop it while I'm driving, and obviously like the chance of Pokeball catching is like pretty low, right? Like very, very low. So there's probably plenty that ran on me, but like when I'm actually actively looking at it, like I don't actually use my daily incense like very often.
There was one time where I had 2 appear on the same incense, and they both ran from me. And I was like,
a friend of mine actually had two Galarian Moltres spawn back to back.
What?
Recently.
Oh my god!
And they both ran. Yeah,
it's bonkers. Well, at least we know during this event, if you do see the shiny one, it won't run.
Yeah, don't use your Master Ball. All right.
It might. Yeah, don't use your Master Ball if you get the shiny one.
We might have a different opinion on Master Balls right now, but we agree that this is not the right place to use the Master Ball.
Unless you're trying to flex.
Unless your phone's
it
really
might take all your Ultra
Balls.
Balls.
About to crash.
It might take every single Ultra Ball you have, but
I thought it was like a 10% catch rate or whatever.
Yeah, isn't it lower than that?
Shiny or for the regular bird?
No.
For
the regular bird, I think it's.
I mean, a 90% chance of running on the first ball is still pretty high, no? Because
that's just
right.
That
level 1 Zapdos I caught, it actually broke out on the first ball.
Yeah, it's not like 10% flea rate. It's 10%.
90% flea rate.
Oh yeah, but not 10% catch rate. Like it's just 10% to get a second ball.
Okay, it's a 90. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
so then I got really lucky. Yeah,
base catch rate.
Yeah. So so it ran. It stayed in it broke out, but it stayed there. I have a video of this actually, but
So
kind of wild.
So TLDR, you can buy another chance at a Master Ball.
Chance, it's guaranteed, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. I mean, another chance to get a Master Ball.
Okay, I was you can pay and you have, if you're lucky, you may get a Master Ball.
Loot boxes are real.
For another shot at getting a Master Ball. So it's not like a free Masterwork research like the other ones have been. I'm really curious since you are paying for this one. I'm curious if it's as difficult. Like,
probably
because
not.
the previous Masterwork researches to get Master Balls, like they were designed to take a long time. But with this one, you're paying to get it, so I wonder if that also gets you that Master Ball.
I don't know if it'll be any easier, but it probably won't like expire anytime soon. It'll probably be like special, like
well, I guess.
I mean,
I guess I would just hope for no ones that are like catch a Pokemon 7 days in a row, you know?
I will say that not the Master Ball one, but like some of the other like special researches. I think the Master special researches, like for like I think like shiny like Victini maybe, and some of those like the ones that people got for going to the in-person events, which they basically had to pay for, were easier to do than the ones that everyone else got. Like I
Oh,
think
yeah, for
like
sure.
the global one was like catch 10 Kecleon, and the one for going in person was catch like 5 Kecleon, and like all the other steps were like easier too. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it was easier because of that paid aspect, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. But the good news is, like we were saying, you don't need that Master Ball for your shiny Galarian bird if you are lucky enough to get one. It's just, nice to have.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna get that shiny Moltres. I'm just saying. I'm gonna get it this
I
year.
do like that the shinies of these birds look like their Cantonian counterparts.
Yeah,
It's like a funny but also
it's just
lazy
fun.
approach to it too.
Yeah.
They just went with like, oh, the shiny variant should just be the Kanto variant colors.
I think like
But
most
think
of the
it's smart.
Galarian
I'm a
also.
fan. I'm a
Zapdos does look a lot
fan.
like Big Bird, so that's kind of funny.
I
but-
feel like
love
most of the
it.
Galarian ones look cooler as the Galarian non-shiny though than the original ones did.
I agree, but because they say it's a
Agree.
shiny, then you're probably more like because okay. Actually, if you have the 3 birds side by side, right? The Galarian birds, the shiny and non-shiny, I guarantee you, if people didn't know which one was which, they would always opt for thinking that the current one, the non-shiny, is the shiny variant, right?
Yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
looks so much cooler, right?
Yeah,
Moltres
yeah.
like black and red, and like
Yeah.
but they
We can
look
agree
like
they
the
look
shiny
cooler.
variants, yeah.
But it's funny. I like
It's
it.
really funny. I love
I'm
it.
gonna have that. I'm gonna have that Galarian Moltres. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Shiny.
I think it makes it better that it was like a choice, because in early games, like the main series games, the shinies weren't necessarily a choice. They only had so many color palettes to choose from. But now that they can just pick whatever, they're like, hey, it'd be funny.
Yeah.
That
They just
makes
stuff
it
with
even
like
better.
like shiny Wooloo being a black sheep
Yeah.
and like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I have a
Amazing.
question though. For this daily adventure incense, is it confirmed that they are only shiny Galarian Birds for this event, or is it they are eligible to be shiny after this event as well for all future purposes?
I don't know.
What did
I
the
don't
blog
think
post
that's-
say?
It says
The
for the
blog
first
post
time in Pokemon
specify.
Go, you'll encounter shiny Galarian Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres if you're lucky, if you're very lucky.
Yeah. It also does say in that segment, like also starting with this event and continuing permanently afterwards, there will be an update to the Pokemon that can appear while using your daily adventure incense. So I don't
but that doesn't really
know-
clarify the bird.
That doesn't clarify
question,
your
right? Yeah.
question, but we know that something about it is going to change. Probably just the general spawn pool will be updated.
Yeah.
Hopefully with things that are consistently a little more like rare to see in the wild.
Like,
Like
give us
I'd
some
like
like
for the
Frigibax and like Dreepy
Yeah.
and stuff.
or just like more like evolutions, like second stage or third stage evolutions or something. Just something to make it a little more special, I think would be really nice. The birds thing, I'd like to believe that now that the shiny has been released, that it will be permanently available. Because it is like a daily access thing, it's not like a sort of limited thing like the Smeargle release is the only other thing that
But
I can think of.
Smeargle
Well,
was
what about
daily.
Beldum? Like shiny Beldum is also like a weird one where like when sorry, not Beldum,
Meltan.
Meltan. Oh, yeah, okay.
Because when shiny melt, but they're only around during events, and then once the event ends, they shut it off. It can't be shiny anymore.
But again, those are tied to specific events. This is something you can do every day, and the Galarian Birds are not necessarily.
Well, you could do the
more
Meltan
likely...
box every day, right? And you could do
every
the
couple
Smeargle
days,
every
but
day.
yeah, every couple days, but
yeah.
And,
but it's still like limited.
I mean, this is kind of limited too.
Yeah, you can only do it once per day, once per 3 days. It's a similar vibe, I think. So yeah, answer is we don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah,
hopefully
I'm sure
it stays around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll discover it shortly afterwards when we go from seeing some shiny birds to absolutely none.
I will say, I think out of all the things that Pokemon Go has done, the daily adventure incense is by far the best potential avenue to get people to play the game more consistently. Nothing else in this game, in my opinion, can make people play the game consistently. But a daily adventure incense, low commitment, 15 minutes, and if you make the spawns really cool or you add other perks to it, I think you will get more consistent gameplay out of people on a regular basis. Whereas like, people take GBL breaks, raid breaks, all that stuff, right? Like who's fighting gym battles anymore, right? Dynamax is like hit or miss depending on who you are, right? But I think the daily adventure incense, like again, like I do pop it like fairly often, but just while I'm driving, so that's why I don't actually see the birds. But like I was like, whatever, free incense, like 15 minutes, maybe I get lucky with a bird. But
the leak duck description of this event, the one that specifies that shiny Galarian birds will not flee, does say that their shiny debut will continue to be available after the event.
Yeah, it seems like they got some sort of confirmation from Niantic about the shinies not fleeing, so it's possible.
How are they confirming with them, but they can't just Niantic can't just confirm it with us? Like, why can't you just add that to the blog post?
Community.
I mean, I guess like one part of it is also if they say it's eligible afterward too, then maybe less people play the game play the event as much, and because I'm thinking like, I need to get this Galarian shiny bird this week, right? But maybe that's not the case. Anyway, I think that does it for our events. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We don't have a Kaz's corner this week, so we shall.
Caleb can't double his points.
Yeah, I give you all time to study for next week. We'll do a double
no one
points.
study. I think we're all in agreement that we don't study, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like then it just becomes like too much pressure and then everyone's freaking studying, right? And like then it just like becomes like that's like you ever seen like the Price is Right?
Which Pokemon that I'm gonna feature.
I mean, you ever seen the Price is Right?
I mean, there's 1,000 Pokemon, so
yeah. But no, have you all seen Price is Right?
I'm aware of the concept. I've never watched an episode.
So it's like you have to like guess like what price certain things are, and like to see if you're the main person on the show for that episode. You're competing with 4 other people, similar to our vibes, and you have to like they'll be like, oh, this Harley Davidson motorcycle, how much do you think it is? And they'll like guess like their range. And there's always once in a while someone to be like, that's exactly $5,782 or something like that. I saw that on a previous episode. I'm like, dude, like I just like it doesn't feel it like ruins like the spirit of the game in a way, right? Because they're not actually guessing; they're just memorizing a bunch of like random numbers. Anyway, that's my feel on this, which is why I'm not setting up on it. But
yeah, look, if for some reason we essentially changed it so that it was about studying, I would be reading all 1,000 of those entries. I would be absolutely raring to go. But
me too, and I'd hate every minute of it,
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay, let's do some GBL stuff. All right, before we get into GBL metas, I got a question for y'all. Anyone hit veteran yet?
I don't have an ELO yet.
Looks like I won that race. I'm just saying. How close were you, Casca? I know you had Elo.
I'm really close, but I had a bad day today in Psychic Cup, so.
Well, I hit it on last Wednesday, so it's been a while.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can see my screenshot here.
I thought that I might like this weekend or maybe even yesterday, but then like today I just crashed. So, but I'm still in the 2300, so still close.
Yeah, I actually took a decent amount of time off the game after I hit veteran because I was running into so many issues. But it looks like most of them are fixed now. But I'll be like in a Malmar mirror, and they'll just hit me with a hyper beam before I even have a hyper beam. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But like,
sure they're not using Psycho Cut.
I still get
okay, so I actually thought about that because I actually realized because I thought it happened again last night, but it turned out they were just running Psycho Cut. I don't think they were running Psycho Cut though for that one because they were literally like a turn off. But there were also a decent amount of bugs where like someone throw a move and it just freezes and I can't get back in the game. I try to go, battle can't be recovered, and I heard that apparently the other person loses too. So everyone's it's like a loser situation.
Oh my god!
Right off the bat, sure, that happened like twice in like 2 sets. I just called out.
Have you guys seen the weird animation errors?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst.
Your opponent is throwing your fast move,
or so, like the weird one, like Talonflame. All Incinerate users actually have 2 different fast attack animations. They have the Incinerate one, and they have whatever the other ones are. Yeah. And so Talonflame was throwing a fire. Have you noticed that? For example, if you use Fire Spin,
it does that
Podcast,
like
you know all about
swooping
birds.
animation
Talonflame.
instead.
No. I'm just saying Talonflame isn't the only one because in Psychic
No,
Cup,
I
I've seen Malamar throwing like mud slap at me.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Okay,
No,
so there's
that's
two
that's a
issues
different thing.
essentially.
Yeah.
So the
this
first thing
is
where like
different.
Malamar throws rollout or something throws incinerate. There's another one where like Talonflame essentially like it does one animation for incinerate where it sort of like puts its wings down and whatnot. But then even when you're using incinerate, sometimes like they'll be doing a different animation where Talonflame
They'll do the
like,
fire
sort
spin
of
animation.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
have
though
you-
it's throwing.
but
So
actually,
a glitch
yeah.
that affects specifically incinerate units.
Well,
that's all I've
no, it's not just
noticed.
incinerate. It's also Gust too. No, not that glitch particularly because I don't think anyone's using Gust Pidgeot or whatever.
Mm.
But have you ever noticed? And we might have talked about this in a previous episode, but definitely with different hosts at the time. That Talonflame, incinerate, and like Talonflame, and then like Gust as example, and like Wing Attack, they actually changed to fast attack. Oh, we lost Tristan again. Okay, well if Doombug is the Pokemon Go GOAT for most titles and championships, Tristan is the podcast GOAT for most technical issues. kind of leading the charge here. Anyway, we don't know what happened, but Tristan is back, so we're going to continue with what we're talking about. No, so what I was saying though, not just for Kaz but for everyone, is you ever notice that? So if you throw a fast attack, I think it looks the same for every Pokemon regardless of what you're using, right? Like a Cycle Cup from Medicham looks the same as a counter, right? What about the different turn durations? I think like Feint Attack from Umbreon looks the same as Snarl, except I think Feint Attack the animation is just slightly faster, right? But like the in and out is still the same, right? From the fast attack. But if you look at Talonflame or Pidgeot as an example, Talonflame when used Incinerate looks very different animation wise than like Fire Spin. It's like literally.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. How with Incinerate, its motion is like the wings come down, right? Yeah. But with the Fire Spin, it like zooms by.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a bug I saw recently where it was like they were using Incinerate, but they were doing Fire Spin animations, which is really weird too because it's actually, I don't think it's an Incinerate thing. I think it's actually a Talonflame thing because I'm thinking about Typhlosion when running Shadow Claw. It's the same animation as Incinerate when Typhlosion Incinerate. It's just slower on Incinerate, right? So it's actually weird.
I think so.
Like they're just like lunging at you. And the same thing I noticed with Pidgeot as well. When Pidgeot's using Wing Attack, it looks very different than when it's using Gust.
Yeah.
Or maybe no. I think maybe Gust is the same. It's just like slower. And that's
I haven't actually used like Gust Pidgeot in a while, but I want to say that I think you're right. I think it's similar
maybe it's just a Talonflame thing.
I think it's similar to Talonflame though. Like I think it has like a sort of wing motion.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's doing the wing attacks, I want to say that it's kind of like flapping in a little bit of a different way. But I don't know. It's been because Wing Attack got nerfed. I haven't used one in a while.
Well, I mean, what's the last time you used Wing Attack Pidgeot too? On top of that, right? So
like a
for
month
you,
ago.
maybe. Oh, my bad. Well, actually, the better question is actually you probably haven't used Gust Pidgeot in a long time to see that animation.
No,
right?
yeah. I have not seen a Gust in a really.
We all
long
know
time.
what the Wing Attack animation looks like. I think the difference, the real question is, I think the Gust animation is just like 4 times or like twice as slow as the Wing Attack. I think that's the only difference. But Talonflame's like very noticeably different. It's like actually
yeah.
Which again, I never understood why that was the case.
This does.
I don't know.
This
very
does
weird, right?
Maybe because they didn't. I don't know. Maybe.
And it's weird too, right? Because again, Typhlosion's using Incinerate, so it's not an Incinerate thing. It's like a very specific Talonflame thing, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other examples like that.
Maybe because they just didn't code in like the animation, like because like when you think about it, the Fire Spin like animation that it does, like where it zooms by, that's kind of how it like attacks sometimes. So like the charged attacks. So like I don't know. Maybe there was just like a little bit of weird coding in there, like copy paste or something.
I
cannot speak to it.
Is that when they introduced Incinerate as a move when they did put it on Comday Talonflame?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, so they could have made an animation for Talonflame Incinerate because it was like the Comday thingo, and they just haven't done that for every move for every Pokemon. And
they haven't done for any other move, I think. Yeah,
I was gonna say. I
feel like there must be one.
That made me think about like,
Let us know in the comments down
is
below if there is. Yeah.
is like a Typhlosion with
Shadow Claw?
Thunder Punch, like doing anything differently.
Wait, Thunder? What do you mean? Well, it's a fast
like-
attack, right?
Yeah, no. Like in terms of
Because
just
there's charge
attack
attack animations as
animation.
well. Like when
Yeah,
Giratina
yeah.
uses Shadow Force and it just zooms out of existence and comes back in.
Oh,
Right,
well,
but I
but
think that
that's
there's-
the charge attack animation though. That's not the
Fast attack.
the gear. Yeah, that's not the fat. Like, because charge attack animations look different.
Regardless.
Well,
Okay, so I guess my
Mostly.
question is like because Shadow Force from. Actually, I'm curious now because Shadow Force from Giratina
Generally,
Origin, I haven't really seen what that
Pokemon
looks
have
like.
like the same. This is very general, but generally, I think Pokemon have the same animation for like all of their fast attacks. That's just timed differently,
Yes.
right? That's what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yeah.
Generally, I think that's true for their charged attacks as well, except for like special moves like the Shadow Force.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Wait, so are you
Yeah.
saying that like Brave Bird, Fly, and Flame Charge from Talonflame all look the same?
Yeah, I don't. I think no. I think every charge
No,
attack actually does have a different
Fly-
animation.
No, because Fly looks different because they do actually like go up.
Yeah,
Right?
but Brave Bird
Yeah.
also looks different too because it's like you see like the whole like wind gushing at you, right? I
No,
think
no,
every
no,
charge
no,
attack
no.
has a different animation,
But
right?
does the Pokemon actually do a different action? Because, like, obviously, when you use Incinerate, when you use Blast Burn or Thunder Punch,
Oh,
different
I
like,
see what you're
effects
saying.
show up. But I think Typhlosion just lunges both time, or it sort of
No,
just
no,
goes
no,
like,
no. It is
"Rah."
different because
It is?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I
If
don't
you
know,
just
I'm
look at the
actually even
Pokemon
more
model,
confused.
We've
I
gone
think about
so
it, yeah.
far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Now
I'm
you
really
can answer a
'cause
question.
now I'm
Create
really
a burner account
curious.
and just comment on the below,
Yeah.
right? We're
Now
dying
I'm
to
really
figure this out.
curious if like the animation for a Thunder Punch Typhlosion looks the same as the animation for a Blast Burn.
I'm going to find
Typhlosion.
this out
Like,
now.
Is
We're gonna
is the
in
action
field.
the same? Yeah, do it. Yeah, do
Alright.
a
Yeah.
team leader battle.
So,
Let us know.
Yeah.
I do have this. Did make you think? I have a question for you guys. So, like, we talked about how like the fast moves often look fairly similar. Do you guys think that in game, because you know how when you use a charge move, it says like Blastoise used Hydro Cannon or
Mhm.
Charizard used Dragon Claw. Do you
Mhm.
think it should say what the fast attack is? Because like, I do
No,
feel like that.
because those one-turn ones would be so fast, you wouldn't even be able to like read it or anything.
Yeah,
Even if it was,
but
like, the
I do
first
think there's
time-
like yeah,
'Cause,
maybe
like-
the first time it is. I definitely see the point because sometimes if they're using hidden power, you don't know what the heck is on the other side, right?
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's so
But
frustrating.
even beyond that, like, I mean, a lot of us like we're good at
Yeah, we
telling the
know,
differences between the different fast attacks now.
Yeah,
But that's like another barrier to entry for newer players because
I agree.
they don't know the difference necessarily between an Incinerate or a Shadow Claw or a Wing Attack or a Fire Spin. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not the
So,
most
like-
intuitive either because I remember before Astonish was popular, every time I fight like a Team Rocket, something would be using Astonish, and the Astonish animation has like some bubbles on it. So I thought they're
Yeah.
using like bubble. I was like, I was like, why is this not super effective against my Tyranitar? I thought this was like a water move. Like, what is going on?
Right.
How's this resisted? But
and it's just like it means that players have to know like all the possible moves a Pokemon can learn and what those move animations look like. And it's like, yeah, sure, sometimes you have a hint because it'll say super effective or not very effective, and you can like sort of deduce what it might be based on the type of your Pokemon, but like other times it's just a neutral move, and so you don't know. Like, I just feel like
okay, so Steve is showing to the camera his Blast Burn versus Thunder Punch animation differences. Let's see. Okay, we saw the Thunder
Identical.
Punch one.
They're the same.
No, wait. I don't think it's identical. Wait,
Yeah,
go
they
back,
were-
go back, go
it
back.
was, it
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
it
Go,
was.
go back to Thunder
They're
Punch.
right.
Go back to
Yeah,
Thunder
yeah.
Punch real quick. Let me take a look.
Hang on, have to
Just
shield
show
up
when
this
it's
body
like-
slam from Celio.
Oh, I thought this was a screen recording. Sorry, I didn't
No,
realize.
it's
this
doing
was-
it live.
Yeah, this is live.
okay.
He's just
Yeah.
found
Okay.
a bench.
Well, no. So the lunge forward is the same, but there's like when you do the blast run, there's like an aura of fire around them.
Oh yeah,
Right,
we weren't
right.
debating that. Yeah, we're all on board
But
with
that's
that.
part
So
of
like
it,
there's
though, right?
different special effects, but we're talking like the Pokemon does the exact same motion. So like if you just focus on the
So the
Pokemon,
I
motion-
see.
The motion of the Pokemon is the same, but like
but wouldn't you say the motion is part of the special effects for some moves?
No. I think that like when that's sort of it's actually what they do in the Pokemon games a lot, in that like they just sort of animate one move for a Pokemon, like the Pokemon does this, and then they just have like special effects or things show up on the screen to mean all of these different moves in the past.
Especially,
and so the question
especially
was
because
like,
in the main series games, like there are a lot of moves that are just like sort of status effects. They're not even like an attack per se. You know, like all those eyes, like the baby doll eyes and stuff like that. You know, so they have like just generic animations, and then they'll have like other stuff sort of programmed on top to make it look different.
Yeah, and again, I think
that's what we're seeing here.
Right, and again, I think there are a few exceptions, like the Shadow Force. I think Dragon Ascent is like a different thing too. Like, there's a few moves that have different things, but most of the like standard, I think, non-exclusive charge attacks, like Steve showed, the movement of the Pokemon itself is the same, right? The Typhlosion was just like lunging forward, and then the Thunder Punch versus the Blast Burn has different visual effects paired with that to differentiate them. But
anyway, all I was to say is I took a few days off because of the bugs. Quite the rabbit hole.
I'm sure that's why people come here. They just want their deep dives into Pokemon animation and aesthetics.
Dude, for real. Wait. So Tristan doesn't even have Elo yet. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I was doing really well day one of Psychic Cup. Like I didn't have Elo yet. Like I went on like a 20-5 run, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have such a good Elo. This is gonna be sick.
Okay.
And then I just like using the same team, I hard crated. Like I just went 05, 05, 2, 3.
Oh dang!
Like dang. So by the time I hit Elo, I'm at the low 2000s.
Okay, that's
like
fine.
I've sort of.
Hey,
I think
let's
I'm
not
maybe
forget we have a legend bet too, still, you know, or not legend bet, like the highest combined Elo bet. So if Tristan doesn't get Elo by November 3rd, I think it's just a wash.
Tristan,
Tristan, I can't wait to see you dressed up as
you,
Nurse Joy, Tristan.
I'm begging you, Tristan.
Yeah.
Don't let this happen.
Just hard winning so far by thousands of Elo.
I mean, I get you got a month, but I'm climbing. I'm in like the top 200 something, I think, on leaderboard at the moment. I'm like 26 something, but
sounds good. Keep it up.
Putting in the work, you know.
What is the next rotation?
It's all three
open,
okay. Yeah. All three open, yeah. Psychic Cup, honestly, this meta has felt really good. I think it's really skill based. Like, there's very few games I feel hard countered, and like there's just one line. So I'm running Malamar, Galarian Slowbro, and Claydol. And I say salt the Galarian Slowbro in most situations. There's just one line I faced. Dude, last night, I played like 2 sets. I faced this team like 5 or 6 times in 10 battles. It was crazy. Same exact order. It was they would lead Galarian Rapidash. They would have a Claydol and a Malamar in the back. And the first 2 times I just got like stomped, right? I was like, oh, technically that's kind of a hard counter, right? There's just no way I could work around it. And then I kept facing the team so many times I found win cons around it. I was like, wait, I could actually beat this team, right? But again, that just like goes to show that Psychic Cup I think is a pretty solid meta. Like there's a lot of outplay and stuff.
I feel like
I would agree.
I feel like Psychic Cup is like much improved over the last time too. Like it's kind of crazy how many changes it's undergone.
Because
you had
all of the Astonish users have really come up. Yeah,
the Astonish users came up big, but you also had the Mudslap buff for Claydol. You had Brutal Swing on the Galarian Slowbro.
Surf Nerf really hit Slowking, because Slowking was like the king of Psychic Cup for a bit, but it's not as good.
Yeah. It's definitely not as good this time.
It's not relevant. I haven't seen it at all.
I've only seen a handful. Slowbro is still around because I feel like it got buffed by comparison. But
Brutal Swing. Yep.
Yeah.
And then even
it's been really fun.
Not
actually.
that it's the best, but you also have like Sucker Punch Meow Stick or whatever as well. I think some people were using.
Dude, that
like,
thing's kind of trash.
Yeah.
right, I haven't used it, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying like there's so many things that are viable
I
now that
tried
weren't
it.
before.
I did because I was like, I want to play with the cat. But
There's
it wasn't.
you could run different ones though. You could the female and the male one actually have different moves, which is weird.
Yes, the male
Yeah.
one is preferred, I think, just because of the Sucker Punch access, since that got buffed.
But the
I
female has
haven't- I
Shadow
haven't
Ball.
seen I haven't
But I
seen
don't think it
anyone
has a good
using
fast
female
move,
one.
though.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it because I was facing one. I shields down. I was like looking it up real quick, and people was like, "What could this thing even throw at me?" Shields down. Right? Can it one shot my like clay doll? And it threw
Yeah.
like an energy ball, which it didn't. But and then because I was like, "Is this the female or male?" I can't even tell if it was like female or male one,
Right.
right? But I think I've only seen male one because, like you said, the Sucker Punch is better.
Yeah.
But I think
Oh.
if the male one has Shadow Ball, it'd be a different story. I think.
Right.
But
And then
Yeah,
the Psywave,
unfortunately.
the Psywave buff as well definitely changed things too. Not like Malamar
Yeah.
was still going to be everywhere regardless, but I feel like it just
It
plays
is
a little differently.
interesting. Yeah, it is interesting the divide between like Psywave users and Psycho Cut users, because the Psycho Cut definitely does pressure like fellow Malamar and even other Pokemon, I think, a little more reliably, but sometimes that Psywave damage just like comes in too handy.
Yeah, because
I think it's better in the mirror. Still, it feels better than
Well, it
Psycho Cut,
does.
even though like Psycho Cut, Malamar,
Oh yeah, Psywave. Yeah, because the Psycho Cut, I don't
it
think.
does like no damage.
Yeah, so it's like it can't KO in 2 foul plays, but the
Yeah.
Psywave damage adds up enough that I think you can KO with 2 Psywave.
Yeah, after the
foul
Psywave
plays.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah, like my problem today, like when I was, because like I said, I feel like I've been climbing pretty steadily for a long time, but my problem today is like getting into the 2400s range. Like, yeah, the skill based play is just really, makes it a lot closer. I never felt like I was being hard countered. It was always just like, oh, they just planned better than me.
Yeah.
Which still makes me mad, but a little bit less
I
mad
battled
than
a
RPS.
friend. Well, last night in GB, I battled a friend, and they responded with GG. I could not, for the life of me, identify the win con in the game until each one passed. And I was like, that sounds like the Psych Cup experience summed up. And I'm like, oh, I should have done that, right? Or I should have done this. But yeah, it is.
Exactly.
I think that's why it's like kind of fun, because you could like, a lot of it is just based on your own decision making mid to late game. But
Definitely.
yeah, I was like, one of my patrons saying that too. He's like, oh, because they were asking me, because the team I was running, I was giving them some feedback on and guides on, and they're like, is everyone like struggling with the team now, like these days, or is it just me? Right? I was like, well, honestly, like for me, like I just climbed a decent amount to a point where like I realized like just people I'm facing that just know what they're doing better than what I faced prior to getting my elo. And it's just kind of skill based. And someone else was like, yeah, I felt the same way. Like, I was climbing a lot, and then I just hit a wall because I just started facing people that are just better than me. Was the story. But
it's just wild too that we have a meta now where like Hoopa and like Behemoth are like very relevant.
Dude, that Behemoth is annoying. Honestly, the Chimecho is actually more
Chimecho!
annoying, because it has
Chimecho
a
is
bait
Chimecho!
move. Hoopa is actually not that bad because it hits hard, but like it doesn't have a bait move, and like it's just like it's one shot by every dark move.
I was so mad.
No,
I shielded a freaking what is it, Psyshock against my Malamar. I was so
on
triggered.
Chimecho.
I was so triggered.
I
think it's
learned
entry
pretty
ball
quickly.
like all random stuff.
Yeah, well, it has the what did we say it was?
Psycho
Psycho.
Psyshock.
Psyshock, yeah. So it has
Shadow Ball.
Psyshock and Shadow Ball, but it also can get Energy Ball. And I've seen like an even mix between like people. Everyone has Shadow Ball, but an even mix between people that have chosen like Energy Ball or the Psyshock. The thing is, Psyshock is preferable just because it does give you a bait move, right? I've found that to be way more handy than having the Energy Ball for like neutral damage on anything, because that pace
it's also solid in
same.
his slow bro too.
Yeah, it paces
It's
the
neutral.
same as the Shadow Ball, so it's like, I don't know. I feel a lot better with the access to like,
wait, the Shadow Ball pace the same as Energy Ball? Why would anyone ever throw
to the first
Energy
one?
Ball?
I think.
Oh,
and
that
then
doesn't make sense.
to the
Malamar.
second one, I think Shadow Ball is actually a little bit faster.
No, you just Shadow Ball the Malamar though.
Yeah,
exactly. No, it is. Yeah, it's the same exact pacing. It's 6.5, 6.5. That's even weirder then, because some guy threw energy ball on my Claydol when they could just throw Shadow Ball?
Oh.
And I think Shadow Ball does more damage.
Yeah, I
I
guess they were
think-
just like, oh, ground type, go.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
I
I
think-
think I
Also,
no
energy-
shielded, and I had a
Energy
shield.
Ball-
Maybe they were just going for the debuff
There's a
chance. I don't
debuff,
know.
right?
Neither one will
But-
KO a Claydol at full health.
Claydol's
'cause
so
Claydol's
freaking
just
bulky.
too tanky. But there is the defense drop potential from energy balls, so some people might.
Well, they didn't get it, and they just
that.
lost because
Yeah,
of it.
it's a lot more rare. I would say that I definitely see way more, attack debuffs on my, from Scorching Sands than I do.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that's
it's a
a
10 damage
30%.
difference. Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know, but okay, that's interesting to know. Yeah, I haven't run Chimaco myself, so I don't know, but it is a little bit
Mine
annoying
is-
because it can also
yeah.
tank like Brutal Swing from Slowbro, no
Yeah.
problem. But
Mine is
The other-
terrible, but I love it, and it's shiny. So
The other thing that was annoying is I faced a few people running Rock Tomb on their Claydol, and like that's
I faced
really
one
annoying if
person
you-
running that actually.
Oh,
I forget
yeah?
who it was.
Shield
It's someone I recognized too. I think from like Europe or something. It was like maybe Elfin Flosh or whatever. I don't know, but
feel like-
someone threw it. But
Scorching Sand Shadow Ball is just such a good moveset though, but like if
yeah,
you
what's the
shield
benefit
that,
of Rock Tomb?
the debuff and like if
The
you think
Is
they're
it
gonna
is it
shield-
cheaper
debuff?
too?
no,
Probably not. I think Rock Tomb is
No,
like
it's
60
not.
energy or something, right?
yeah, it's
Rock
absurd,
Tomb
but it
60,
is
yeah.
also.
Oh yeah, it's more
it is
expensive.
also
It's
a
more expensive than Shadow Ball.
guaranteed-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is also a guaranteed
Ah,
attack debuff
I
though.
don't think that's
So I
worth
don't know.
it,
Some
but-
people might just not in a meta where there's so
If
many.
you- if
other
you're
Claydol
sure
It
they're
players,
also
gonna
doesn't
shield
do
you,
as
but-
much damage either, right?
Yeah, it's not
No.
the best move.
Well, because
Yeah.
I saw someone throw it at me, and I think yeah, it really made no sense why they threw it at me now.
I
now
think
that
I
think about it.
remember
Especially
trying to run it in the last time we had Psychic Cup.
Malamar.
Because I was like, oh yeah, I just want to debuff things, but then it was just still bad. It was still bad. So tough.
Yeah. Anyway, no one's really been playing Master League, is what I gather, which is fair.
I thought you
I
were the
ca- I
Master League guy.
cannot. I
I'm not
cannot.
Master League guy. I just play it once in a while, and I'm pretty bad at it.
I thought you played a lot of
I
Master
just
League in
don't.
GBL.
I just don't
I
have the
did last
XL
season,
cake.
and that's why I was stuck in like veteran for like the whole like 75% of the season
But
because
where's your Rhyperior Veltal team? Come on.
I do have no. I actually played. I played a few battles on my Patreon stream the other day. I think I ran. Wait, let me see. I probably still have it like queued up. It was like okay. It wasn't like anything crazy, but let me see if I have the battle party still. Yeah, I ran Zacian, Rhyperior, and the Necrozma Dawn Wings. It was okay. I don't know. I feel like Rhyperior and Yveltal being buffed made the meta like way more RPS. Particularly the Yveltal. I don't think the Rhyperior is much. Rhyperior is actually kind of nutty. You actually like can force shields out of a Palkia. Because like the breaking swipe and the mud slap damage really adds up. Yeah, I know. It's wild,
Oh
but
my
and you
God.
get one shot by one Aqua Tail, but as long as you shield the Aqua Tail, like you're chilling. Because
I definitely
the
heard
Dragon Breath
people
doesn't do
having
anything.
that conversation when I was at a local cup this past weekend.
yeah,
About how nutty Rhyperior is.
It
I
is
think
pretty
it
nice,
wins
yeah.
like the 2s and maybe even the 1s against
I
Palkia.
have the hundo, but once again, no XL. Not
Wait, what?
nearly
But that's
enough.
like it had a community day.
I think the community was before
it was
XLs.
before.
Community day was before, yeah.
Where did I get all my XLs from? I don't remember, but I don't know. Anyway, let's not forget we got that November 3rd bet. You know, me and Steve gonna take a
Tristan,
repeat.
I swear.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's chilling a little too much here.
Keep chilling, man. Keep chilling.
Yeah, keep chilling. Keep
Do
chilling.
not.
Do
Do
your
not.
thing. Do your thing.
No stress, man.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. All right. I think we are wrapping up there. We have ourselves the championship series and small updates on that. So no tournaments this past weekend, but LAIC registration went live,
Well, sort
and
of.
kind of, and it's
Yeah.
kind of
Kinda,
a mess
sorta.
too. But I
Steve
don't
got
know.
registered.
Steve, break down the
Yeah.
experience for us because I'm not as familiar with this.
Okay. So there were supposed to be 2 waves, wave 1, wave 2, like, 8 hours apart or whatever, so that whatever time zone you're in, there's going to be at least one that is sort of at a reasonable time for you. And the first one for me was at 11 p.m. I was just like, I didn't know how stacked this would be. I didn't know whether it would cap or whatnot. So I was like, I'm just going to stay up till 11 and go for this first one. If I miss it, I have a wave.
Stay up to 11. Do you usually go to bed before 11?
My bedtime's 9 p.m., man.
Oh my gosh. I don't remember the last time I went to sleep in the PM.
Same.
Yeah.
How do you think he gets up so early for these episodes?
That's true.
Yeah,
Fair.
exactly.
Fair.
Need to
Yeah,
try
what
and
time is it
get
right now for
some
you?
sleep. Yeah, it's at 7 a.m. Like we've sort of been
7
around 2
a.m.
hours.
Yeah, but we were recording for like 2 hours. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he goes to bed at 9 p.m.
Yeah, fair enough,
I have to
fair
go to bed
Usually-
early for this podcast.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, he stayed up late for
exactly.
this LAIC registration, but it
Yeah.
paid
Yeah,
off.
so it paid off. So I got in, happy days. Like, I refreshed right on the second, got straight through,
Yeah.
clean. And I was
Okay.
like, great, job
Yeah.
done. Like, I messaged for you guys like, hey, locked in, LAIC. 10 minutes later, I see one of the, I won't name and shame, but someone else missed the priority rego. They should have priority rego, but they didn't.
You won't name his shame. I don't know. Part of me is like, this is probably Debbie Pebble, but then the other part of me is like, if it was Debbie, you would have named and shamed her already. So it's probably not Debbie.
Yeah.
So,
No.
He would not.
escaped
He
this
would
time.
have
So,
named.
all right. Process
would have
elimination,
named.
that's
Oh yeah,
one person that can't
Debbie
name.
Rest
requested
assured, it's just not
Debbie
Debbie.
requested timestamps for the weekly Debbie slander segment.
Well, that wasn't a Debbie slander, but it seemed like it was like by proxy. But all right.
Yeah.
So
Apparently now
someone
it
else.
is.
tried to register and
someone
couldn't.
they missed priority rego. Like they had it, they missed it. So they were like,
they
oh
had
shoot, I
priorities,
better.
like, they were like someone on travel ward
Yeah,
or like
they were
right below it,
top
right?
16.
Well, top 16 all got.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so they
So
had
a
their
fair-
priority rego. They missed the window,
and
which is like
an Aussie that missed
come on,
priority
man.
rego is what I'm gathering here.
yeah. So then they were like, okay, I'll rego, and it's like this is 10 minutes after the window. After wave 1 opens, and he goes through, he like sort of gets into the thing, and he tries to pay, and it doesn't let him
Wait,
pay.
10 minutes? That's kind of a long time, no?
It's a he. We have more details.
Well, yeah. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like if you already missed priority retro, okay, no big deal. You forgot about the day, whatever. But you better be there at 11 p.m. to refresh and click it. Like this is like
They
this
only
is
realized because I
international.
messaged them. Like I messaged them, and they were like, "Oh shoot, I gotta
Fair enough.
register."
If
Okay.
they forgot, if they didn't get priority retro, they probably didn't know when the regular registration is either. So.
Exactly. They weren't aware that it was the window was closing. So they get in, they try and register. Like, they can't pay, and they're like, "Oh no, I can't pay. It must be on my credit card blocked." And I went, "Oh dang, that sucks, man." And so like he's gonna call in the morning, whatever. I go to bed.
Yeah.
I wake up. It turns out that the payment system crashed for everyone. So like
Yeah.
only a handful of people were able to register before the payment system just broke, and no one else was able to register for wave 1. And so there's currently 103 people registered. I
Okay.
don't know how many of those were priority rego or how many people
Probably
actually
a
got into
decent
wave
amount,
1.
right?
But yeah, I would imagine like, a decent chunk, because there was 64 people that got priority rego. So
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Say
think
half of
the
them are
people that
going.
guaranteed travel ward were probably like those people. I would assume are probably going, or most of
Yeah.
them. But I don't know about like just because you have prior registration. Like I don't know, like spending like 1,000, 2,000 plus on a flight like might not seem worth it, right? Even if you have
Yeah,
the
I mean,
priority registration.
most of the
I think
Aussies
everyone in
aren't going.
LATAM probably, or most of in LATAM that have priority registration probably took advantage of that, right?
Yeah,
But,
probably most of those 16. So say there's 30 people
Yeah.
that were in priority. So like maybe 70
Yeah.
people got in. And then
Yeah.
wave 2 is supposed to be 8 hours later, and they were just like, yeah, no, we're canning this thing. This isn't working. We'll let you know later when we're going to open it back
Oh
up.
my gosh.
And days have gone past, and they still haven't announced when the next wave is going to be. So
This
I'm thinking it's going to be
sort of
an
has-
easy 103 person tournament. This is going to be
No,
chill.
so
I
we
don't know
have-
about easy. Is that easy?
Yeah.
I would
No.
in my
Not
I
in
don't know if, like,
LATAM,
this
it's
is-
not.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like makes sense or not, but in my mind, I'd rather go to a bigger tournament than a smaller tournament.
Yeah. I mean,
Because I feel like
Especially, Steve,
my
if you're
chances
saying-
of like beating some like I have more chances to beat people, right? Whereas like if it's a super small tournament, but like especially if all these people with priority registration are there, these
Yeah,
are
they're
not
good.
going to be easy opponents right off the bat, right? It's like I would rather go to like EUIC with 300 something plus people than go to Worlds with only like 200, right? I mean, I guess
exactly.
Worlds is a little different, but
Yeah, well, it is very different, but yeah. So stay tuned, I guess. We just, they've announced, I think, spectator passes. They were going to try and sell them I think that
Yeah.
that might mean that the payment system is like maybe fixed, and they're just testing it out with spectator passes.
Maybe.
And then if it
Yeah,
works,
so
they'll
basically
open
they
up wave
said
2.
to prevent and monitor any issues. So I guess it was an issue with Stripe.
Yeah.
So to prevent any and monitor any issues with Stripe, we will open spectator registration on Tuesday, September 4th at 6 p.m. Brazilian time. Once this
September
wave
4th?
finishes, 24th.
Okay.
Once this wave finishes, we will evaluate next steps and announce them ahead of time. So it sounds like they're testing it out with the spectators, and then they'll figure out when the other waves will be happening after that, just to make sure it's like working. Right, because obviously spectators is going to be a lot less people than the thousands of TCG and VG and Go players all signing up at once.
Yeah. Well, there's that. Dortmund and Joinville are happening this upcoming weekend, so we'll see how that goes. And they update the regional spawns. I don't know who did you post this, Tristan?
Yeah, this was like shared by people that were there.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. But yeah, so Paldea and Whooper are spawning there, plus Totodile, Skorupi, Carbink, Machop, Cubone, Inkay, Shellos, Volibee, Clefairy, and Lickitung. So that'd be interesting. Dude, Clefairy is Clefairy good? I mean, I guess in Ultra League it is, but it's not really good in Great League, just because Clodsires everywhere. And it doesn't resist any of the for alligator moves. I see a lot of Clefable in Ultra League, so I guess the XLs are nice, but
it's still
it's like top 10
really
on the first PV poke, right?
Yeah, and it's still really fast. Like it has access to Swift now, so like a decent bait move, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, also,
but on the tournament level, it's not really relevant, right?
No, I would say no.
It's not a bad spawn, especially because you need XLs for Ultra League. But like,
it can be useful for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and fairies I think do pretty strong neutral damage across the board, except to like things that end in sire. You know.
Yeah.
Well, Fairy Wind got buffed.
Fairy Wind
could be good if it wasn't a Cod Sire meta.
Yeah, I think
it could also run psychic.
Yeah, I think Clefable was like looking like it could be pretty good, and then just didn't really pan out.
Yeah, well, people just realized there's too much Clodsire everywhere, and the occasional Toxapex doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't do great into Gator either, I assume.
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, because Swift's not going to do enough, and then you just get outpaced on all the other moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, grinding for Ultra League though. It is kind of annoying to face in Ultra League, so I would give it that.
Access to more Totodile is really nice.
Yeah.
And the Paldean Weepers for Clodsires, like there's some good spawns in there, and like it's nice that they took out, you know, like the Glygars and Skarmories and stuff that aren't good anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Let's actually just hop down to the YouTube comments because we're going kind of long, and the T topic even in general, just like there's nothing going on too big anyway, so I think we're probably okay with skipping that if that's makes sense to you all. But okay, so let's take a look at our YouTube comments because there is at least one request for Kaz on this one. I briefly looked at it. Yeah, but they are invested in my Kaz's corner.
Oh yeah, they want to support your journey.
yeah. But okay, so we'll start with Debbie Pebble. Where's the report bullying button in this thing? Maybe we should get Debbie on one day just to like so that she can defend herself. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Debbie comes in.
The myth, the legend from Perth. Chad says, more of the story, hoard everything. Happy evolving. Yeah, happy evolving for Tristan because he's like the one of the few on the podcast that have the shadow wheezing or shadow coughing, I should say.
Yeah, true.
8 the Great says Kaz's corner needs to do a special 2-point special so Caleb can see if he could double his points again on this hot streak. I don't disagree. You know what? Also, because we didn't have it this week, I think that makes sense. Okay, how about this?
I was gonna say when we were doing it earlier, and I was like, oh, we don't have it this week, and we started talking. You guys started talking about the prices, right? I was like, oh, maybe we should do a 2-point special next week.
Okay, what if we do this?
I'm on board.
What if we do a 2-point special?
Steve's got his strat down.
Okay, I got a proposal. What if we do a 2-point special, but if you get it wrong, you lose a point?
Ooh.
It's a little
That's pretty
That
intense.
seems like it's going to
Potentially 3
benefit.
weeks to
A little
win.
spicy.
That seems like it could potentially benefit Caleb more than anyone else.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think that might be unnecessary.
You want other people to lose their points.
No. I see it as a win-win. You know why? If I get it wrong, the following week I can double my points, come back at 1. One thing I'll leave it up to you, Kaz, right? But just a suggestion from a fan 8th grade saying that maybe we should double points. I think it's only fitting because we also didn't have it this week, right? So
no. It is a great suggestion, 8, and I think I'll take you up on that. Next week we will have a 2-point Moonlight special. But I won't penalize anyone for getting it wrong. That's not what Kaz's Corner is about. It's about learning.
Phew.
Yeah, I'm learning to double my points. Is what I'm learning. 8th grade continues. Yeah, when I was looking at Elite versus Wadaj team side by side, I was like, oh, Elite has team comp disadvantage, but his play was insane, bro. Was just locked in, and Wadaj caught on to the tricks eventually. I partially disagree with the argument that TPCI shouldn't have to make rules for def wins, though it's true if the game worked, the rules would be redundant. Things still happen. They need to have precautions if things go wrong. Even games that use land can run into issues. It's good, but not perfect. Just for precaution alone, I think rules revolving around def win should be worked on. Yeah, actually, that's a good point that 8th grade made. Like, even with land, there could be issues. Because I know some other esports games, they have land and they still run into some issues. But maybe less, right? I mean, if it really wasn't working, then no one would be using land, right? If it wasn't that effective. 8th grade continues. I personally experienced issues at Worlds that caused a game 3 def win turn into a rematch that I lost because the surprise factor, the line read I made was gone. I've seen judges make calls on def losses in disputes where they deny a dispute because the dispute had 0 chance of winning the game. I don't understand why they can make that call, but not a def win call in a capability sense. I understand currently as the rules are that is not on the table, but that is why they need to revisit the rules for these things. Another thing that doesn't make sense to me is why don't we do same lines for rematches? I feel like game errors only impacted decisions inside the game, and if anything, game lines, same lines helps reinforce advantages that a player created in that their decision making pregame. Sure, if both players know the exact line, the way the game plays out can change, but I believe it's a better way to not punish the player for the game not working as intended. This obviously assuming a def win is not on the table. I don't have any bad feelings towards any judges or anything, just wish the rules get cleaned up so we can avoid issues like this in the future if the game state is not perfect. Yeah, and this is not really on the judges either, right? Like, they're just there to enforce the rules. They don't make
So what was this
rules.
def loss thing? I was not following.
No, I actually think that's a fantastic point that I've never even heard anyone make. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Steve. Yeah, you could explain it.
It's just like, if you dispute something, you're like, oh, I didn't get my move off. But like, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game, right? Like, if you throw a body slam on a full health Bastiodon, you're still going to lose as a Lickitung or whatever. And so the judge says no rematch because you were going to lose this game. That's essentially a def loss because they're saying oh, there was no,
it's
it's
no not game impacting lag or whatever,
Yeah.
or turn loss.
So that's something
fantastic point. Yeah,
we actually see that fairly commonly, like when it comes up to people bringing disputes. So the fact that the alternative is not available,
feels different to me though. That's just saying like the lag.
I can see how it's frustrating to like the much higher level players though.
Okay, so I'll put it this way. I guess so if you evaluate lag, was it impactful enough? I guess the best way to explain this, was it impactful enough to warrant a rematch, or to warrant a rematch, or you should have lost anyway, right? And then a lot of the situations, it's not warranted, so they don't grant the rematch, right? Even though they lagged, right? Whereas on the flip side, it kind of works against you, right? The system works against you in a way, no matter what, right? As in, like, oh, if you lagged, oh shoot, we lost Tristan again. What is going on? Tristan really wants to secure this top spot for technical. He's like, ain't no one going to pass me.
Locking it in.
He's about to double his points today just on technical issues.
Maybe, but
Caleb can only dream of this.
I ain't going to dream of those issues. That leaderboard, you could take it all the way. So speaking of the def win, def loss thing, whatever, I think the more I think about it, the more I'm on the side of we just need to have def wins at this point. That's my personal opinion, right? So like obviously like you could take it how you want, but I think because currently in the current state of things, there's no way Niantic can guarantee there won't be lag and issues. And my personal prediction is I think because the game is so fast paced, and unless we have LAN or some reliable software, and even with LAN, things can still happen. There's no way they can ever guarantee that there won't ever be lag or turn losses or whatever that cause the rematch. Like I don't foresee that. Oh my gosh, we lost him. What is happening?
Speed running this.
All right, we swear this is not a bit. Tristan legit is. What's it? What's going on? Maybe fifth time's the charm, But
fingers crossed. Yeah, my window just keeps like crashing on me. I don't know what's happening.
It's all good. It's all good.
Def wins.
Yeah, Def wins. Anyway, I think like my personal take is that I think it just needs to probably be written into rules eventually. It just like I think Sylph and grassroots formats handled it really well when they implemented it, because it was like the most like it never feels good to have to rematch because of lag or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the majority of people, at least in the grassroots scene, feel that it is the most fair way to go about it, because it's just like one of those times where like it just feels so bad where you should have won and you end up having to rematch, and then like you end up losing the rematch. It's just like that doesn't even feel good, even if I don't know, some people could care less, right, if they're getting the win off of that, right, when they shouldn't have won. But I think I don't know, it's just like it's just a really feels bad moment when that happens.
Yeah, my one big concern with that though is that, I mean, we already have a situation where sometimes there's a lot of like hate spewed at judges, for the decisions that they make. I just worry that like, the def wins would cause an uptick in that would be my only concern. Is like the people start talking about like,
to avoid that. Like there's when Sylph Factions did the thing where like, they had def wins, but it was like such specific circumstances. It was like only if it was literally like def win, where it was like you had the charge move, like you were trying to tap the charge move that would KO and you weren't able to get it off and whatnot. But like you literally couldn't lose the game. I don't think that def wins should be used with any length of the battle left in terms of like mistakes can be made. Like, when you get a Noctowl throwing Shadow Ball into another Noctowl.
It should be like within a few turns. Okay, I'll give you an example. What if the game just freezes up and it's like a Carbink into like a Mandibuzz, and they both have like half health left? That should be a def win in my opinion, even though it's not like the last few frames, right? You can't mess that up as the Carbink user, right? But again, like I think writing a def win rule is going to be hard. It's going to be very, very tough, because like if you say like, oh, well, it's only the last few frames, and I was like, oh, well, that should be a rematch, then the Mandibuzz user like, hey, you lucked out, right? Like if the game froze like that. But like, again, it's just like those scenarios, like it's hard to write out every possible scenario that a def win should be in place. And that's why I think sometimes it'll just take some language from like grassroots stuff. But I think the biggest benefit of the official TPCI tournaments is that there's multiple judges. There's a head judge, there's multiple floor judges as well. So you get a lot of people that could like, all right, Tristan's been banished to the Shadow Realm or whatever the reference is. That's like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but maybe not the best reference on a Pokemon podcast. But anyway, he I don't know. We don't know what's going on. He's restarting his computer, but we're going to record the rest of these comments without too much interruption, hopefully. But anyway, so yeah, anyway, my whole thing is I think it will be really hard to implement. Oh yeah, he was saying the locals. Yeah. So for the locals, I don't know about for you all, but for my locals, a lot of these are just card shop owners that don't really know the rules. Like they're professors or they like are authorized to run the tournaments, but like they don't really do, like a lot of them don't do much. There's a few of mine that do. And hopefully I'm not like ratting anyone out and like that's like not supposed to be the case, but I like most of them don't understand the mechanics better than the players playing it. So at least for my locals, when it happens, we just discuss amongst ourselves and come to a conclusion. And like it's never really been an issue, right? Because there's been lag issues, but like we'll just discuss it. And like sometimes it'll be like, look, we'll get a second opinion from like another player, right? Like, what do you think as an impartial third party person, right? And like Like they've asked me for this, and I'll just say like, I'm not a judge, so I'm just sharing my opinion. You all should disagree upon yourselves, right? But this is my opinion on it. And sometimes they're like, yeah, thank you for your opinion. Like we'll go with that, right? So again, I don't know if that's like kosher or like how it's supposed to be done, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, like these are card shop owners, and it's hard enough to have locals ready, and like expecting them to all know the mechanics and nuances of Pokemon Go PvP mechanics is like unrealistic, in my opinion. But if you're lucky, you might have a judge like a person that's like well knowledge in this stuff. But I think a lot of locals that's not the case. So
yeah, I think it would. I think that just based on that, it would take a long time before it's ever implemented like at a wide scale, just because of the local scene. So that's a good point by Tristan.
I kind of think it's a bad take in some sense, because if you sort of use like, oh, there's local, so we can't implement this amount of rule change. Like if you use like local judges don't really know what Go is, then you shouldn't have any sort of dispute system. Like it should be, oh, well, journal counts, journal's final, because they don't know how to rule a def loss. They don't know how to rule, like, they don't know if this would definitely, if this is substantial lag. So I think it's bad logic to not progress the rule set forward.
I mean,
especially if it's like very specific.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I am saying that because of that, I think that they have to find a way to, iron it out just right in writing, so that even shops that are like my locals that I've started going to, like they're pretty prepared. Like we have good professors who, will take a look at stuff and are involved, in a meaningful way. But I, like Caleb saying, like other places are not that. So I think while it's going to take a while, and I think that it needs to take a while, so they make sure they have it in place for these places that don't necessarily have the same level of preparedness as others.
Yeah.
You have to make sure everyone can at least approach it, in the writing and read it in a way that makes sense for them to implement, instead of just saying like, well, here are the rules, like,
yeah,
do with that what you will.
Yeah, I think we'll see how what TPCI kind of rules on this over the course of this season, right? I mean, I guess they could technically change the rulebook at any point in time, but it just
they can and they have. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get like an update with it, not even, mid-season at some point even.
It would definitely be like a hard rule to write out, and might come with some like feedback and stuff, especially from like higher ups. I can imagine from TPCI, because it's just like, what? Like this is not a thing in our other Pokemon games. Yeah, well, yeah, but you don't freaking just lag out in the other Pokemon games either, right? That rarely happens. So like it's a different story. But so I think there could be some difficulties convincing higher ups, even if people in charge of the rule making stuff wanted to go that route. And if they don't want to go that route, then obviously it's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I get like maybe like optics wise doesn't feel great to see someone lose and then they still get the win for it. But like it feels even worse when like it's very obvious that they should have won and they just get a rematch, right? And then like that just leaves like a sour taste in like the viewers' mouths and like in the players' mouths too, right? When they just have to rematch a game that they should have won, right? And the opponent's just not willing to concede there. Actually, this actually happened at a tournament, and I won't name names, but I heard apparently that someone lost, and someone like there was a rematch and stuff, and the other person won, but the person that like but then they just ended up rematching, and then the win went to the other person, and that person that asked for the rematch instead of giving the death win was just like, hey, yeah, you probably should have won that, but I'm not a good enough person to give you that win. So let's rematch. Like they literally said that, which is like, I mean, it's fair game, right? I guess in the rules, but it's just like that's also just like it just feels a little grimy too at the same time. But what can you do?
That definitely like makes me want to wash my hands a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully you don't face them at Louisville. Mikey Morg says,
"What?
Huh? What?
They're gonna be coming to Louisville? God dang it.
I don't know. I'll tell you the name after this recording. But Mikey Morg says, regarding the state of the game and devices that struggle, I play on Google Pixel 6, and while I have some issues, I definitely do not have the large amount of frame drop problems that Samsung users have, nor even the Apple users seem to be moaning recently. Let's change the language to Samsung users rather than Android. Yeah, maybe. But hey, if I was Mikey Morgan, I'd be like, yeah, I beat you with the Android, no big deal, right? Like I got even worse, got it worse than you, right? That's what I'd be saying if I was Android. I wouldn't be talking about like, oh no, my thing is working. Don't.
I mean, I know to me it can be really annoying, but like I don't know. I've never found it because I have a Pixel 8a. So just like a generation or two up from what Mikey Morgs has. And
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I haven't noticed like the severe issues that some people have posted about. It does happen every once in a while. I think before this latest like app update, it was pretty bad. But since the latest update, I've been having, not nearly as many issues as I used to. So while I do think, I think there's a tier, right? Like Android users are definitely on it, but like some Androids are better than others. And I've always been a fan of the Pixels, so this just increases my love for them.
Mikey also says, the first regional season in a brand new meta and no one even watched the finals. Come on, guys. I watched the finals. Wait, who didn't watch the finals?
I did.
Did you watch the finals, Steve?
I went and watched the finals first. Well, actually, not first. I watched the first 2 battles of day 1, and then the next battles I watched were the finals.
Wait, so who didn't watch the finals? Was it Tristan?
I think Tristan said that he didn't. He wasn't fully able.
And he's not even here for us to fully roast him too. He could comment down below, Tristan, when you listen to this back. But to be fair, I didn't watch a lot of it. I mostly just watched the finals too. So
yeah,
I did. I started with like winter side too. It's also a little bit tougher for me because it's East Coast. So like the stream goes live at like 6 or 7 a.m. my time. I'm just like, I'm not going to watch all that, right? But also like the good battles are typically towards the end of the day anyway. But I used to tune into every stream, but like it really messed up my sleep schedule. I think it was Barcelona was a really bad one for me because like the stream would start at like midnight or 1 a.m. and it'll go till like 8 a.m. or something. I was just like completely like my sleep schedule was messed up for like a week after that, right?
Yeah.
Like the next day it ended at like 5 a.m., which was like early for me. I was like, oh, I actually ended early today, right? Day 2. But yeah. Anyway, Artemis Dragon says, okay, Battlecats, hear me out. Why haven't we, and by we I mean Niantic, buff Ferrothorn or Ludicolo yet? Neither of them fear Feraligatr, and Ferrothorn can actually break the Feraligatr/Clodsire, but it needs the proper tools to do so. Hey, I don't disagree there. Also, Kaz, find that skink. I read something on the internet that said that they can grow to 400 feet if you're not careful. It was on the internet, so it has to be true. It's true. That's the origin story of Godzilla.
Yeah, well, Artemis Dragon, I will give you the update that I gave these guys last night. The skink did drop its tail in the living room, which is their defense mechanism where they literally lose the end of their tail and then scurry off while the predator plays with, the remaining tail so that they can escape. I found the tail. My cat was playing with it. The skink remains at large.
See, that tail, that trick really worked then for the skink because he's like,
it did.
Oh, I finally got the cat off my scent. The skink's probably just like hiding in the corner watching the cat play with him. Like, I was like, I got you, right? Like, I'm still good.
I strongly suspect that he's under my couch at this very moment. But if he wants to live in my house and eat all the cockroaches, have at.
Is that what they eat? Cockroaches?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
And in the South, that is a particularly useful creature.
I've never even seen a cockroach until I moved to the South. Like growing up in the Northeast, I didn't even I've just heard of cockroach, but like I actually saw one for the first time. I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah. I had one that fell on me in the shower too. That was actually
nope.
Yeah. Yeah. But the small ones are kind of wild too because they're not as fast, so they're smart. They hide in shadows. They go from like shadow to shadow.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's awful. They are literally a plague upon southern homes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I find the rest of the skink, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Final comment we have from Justin Kim Woo. Howdy, y'all. Finally getting a chance to comment after the latest Dynacatz lineup change, so it's kind of long and I apologize. No need to apologize. We love a good long comment. I am really enjoying the new team and dynamics, so thanks. Also, thanks for bringing up the latest issues with in-game PvP. It's been borderline unplayable on Android. I am also a pixel person, Kaz, and I'm currently using the 9. Oh, so not just a Samsung issue. Yo, maybe Mikey Moore's got the secret sauce. I don't know what's going on. Also, like, if Mikey Moore's is using a Pixel 6, you're using 8, and Justin Kim who's using a 9, it's like the lower the number is the worse, like the older the phone, right? Is that a correct assumption? I don't know, use Pixels.
Yeah.
So how's Mikey Moore not like losing stuff, or like it's going well for Mikey Morris, but like on the Pixel 9 is, I don't know. That's interesting.
I don't think there's been like a lot of huge issues, like, because before I had the 8, I was on the 4, and that was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I think that the gap, like the tech gap, has kind of gotten smaller as the phones have gotten like more updated.
Gotcha. Justin continues, I battle less than half as much as I typically do last season, as the game is just not fun in its current state, and presumably that's why we play. These issues are magnified by the play events, so now Go is not just less fun to play, it's less fun to watch. I realize this topic is not that exciting, but the baseline, what you simply have to get right first, is making the game work as intended. All the rest, move changes, new Pokemon, new formats, new meta, all of it is pointless if you have a game that doesn't work. I will say I played it a bit this weekend, and it was generally better. So hopefully they are working on it. A few other quick points. Yeah. So before we read the other quick points, that's such a good point, Justin, right? Like, I think like maybe also like the meta team at Niantic is a different department or group of people working on it than the game issue. So, I get that. But that's such a good point, because like, I don't care how exciting you make the meta. If it's unplayable, it's frustrating. It doesn't matter how good the meta is, how different the meta is. People are going to be frustrated, right? And we've seen this, actually, people talk about it on X as well and on social media, where they're saying like, oh, it's a great new refreshing meta, but like, it's so unfortunate my game lags out like 5 out of the 10 games I played today. So yeah, I think.
Like I said,
I've said it many times. I don't think these issues are easy to fix, because if they are, Niantic would have done it. But I think they definitely need to really need to pour more resources into it. I think, like if you lag out on a raid, it's a different story, because you can go hop back in the raid. There's no like competitive aspect to it, and if worst case you submit a support ticket, you get the raid pass back, and like most people go about their day, right? Unless you're having like chronic raid issues. But the thing with PvP is like, you don't get that battle back, right? You lose the elo, you lose your rank, you might lose a couple $1,000s worth of money at a tournament, right? Because of this, and like, and you're spending a ton of money to fly out for this, right? Like, just flying out to a regional and getting a hotel accommodations, all that stuff for the weekend, it's going to cost you more than doing like a couple hundred raids, it's actually a way pricier investment, right? And obviously, like, Niantic's not hosting these tournaments, but it is their game and is their platform and is their battle system that people are relying on.
I like that he brings up like, it's not fun to watch either. Like for us at home, like who are not going to like every regional or whatever, watching these people on stream experience these issues. I mean, that's just like annoying and painful, and it like it makes you want to turn it off, because what even am I watching? I can be spending my time doing something else if the game's going to be in such a state that the players featured on stream can't even play it. So I mean, I think that really goes to show like how much they do need to start paying attention to how it runs, because if it continues to put a bad showing at these regionals, we might not even be a part of it for much longer, and that'd be a really, really sad state of affairs, just from a community aspect. Like, a lot of us really love going to these, not even just to compete, but just to like see each other and like and have the feeling of a really strong in-person community, because sometimes we don't even get that like where we play. So if that were to happen, that would be so unfortunate on so many levels. So I mean, I really hope that I know, again, it's not easy to fix, right? Caleb said that, and I support that, but like, we got to have someone who's like looking into it, because I really want us to stay at these regional tournaments.
Yeah, for sure. Really well said. And Justin continues, a few other quick points. Kaz, your corner is great. And the birds are great too. Don't ever change. Also, not only do skinks get to be 400 feet long if not captured immediately, I hear they become poisonous and grow fangs. I saw it on TikTok, so they must know a lot more than I do about animals.
I like how we had 2 comments of the same.
Yeah,
really. Very worried about my skink.
You know, back-to-back comments on that definitely means that it's got to be true. You know,
listen, you guys,
TikTok,
listen. My cat, he's on it. Okay, like he's not good at it, but he's searching. Okay,
he's distracted. You know, it's like
he's
when
he's
you
lived
see those
inside.
movies.
He's lived inside too long. He's just not a predator anymore. You know,
it's like those movies where there's like someone chasing you down and you like throw a rock and they go after the rock. That's a skink right now.
Yeah. Right.
You gotta teach your cats.
Because listen, I'll say he when he sees cockroaches like on the wall, like the big bugs, he'll just look at those. Like he doesn't care about those.
Oh, he
but
doesn't
like
go
the skink actually gets his attention. So at least we're focused, right? We're in the right place. Now we just gotta develop the skill set.
Yeah, true. Justin continues, Steve, you simply have the best ironic let's go that I've ever heard. Anytime anything happens that's supposed to be excited about that isn't exciting at all, your voice rings out in my head. Tristan, congrats on your Worlds run, and I'm wildly impressed by your Professor segment. You called a lot of meaningful and fun changes this season, and then Caleb, I hope Scroll Trapper's okay. Someone should go check on him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Scroll Trapper, if you need help, blink twice, you know, let us know. But yeah, that'll do it for us though. Thanks all for the comments. And I don't think we had comments from the episode before this, just because we recorded like in such close succession. So
we did record.
Yeah, I think everyone just opted to go for opted for that one. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Next week we should have a pretty special guest. So it's not Debbie Pebble, but maybe one day. But yeah,
I support you, Debbie. I support you if you want to come on.
It should be a fun one. So anyway, we'll catch you all then, and hopefully Tristan's internet is good. Otherwise, he's gonna be stuck in that phantom zone forever. So anyway.
if you want a Pokemon reference, there is the Lost Zone from the TCG. That's
the Lost Zone. It's a lot of zones. What was it? What did I say before? The Shadow Realm?
Shadow Zone. The Shadow Realm or whatever.
Phantom Zone's like a Superman reference, but big, whatever it is, you know, you get the picture. Yeah, but anyway, until then, we'll catch you all later. Peace out.